I just don't know. I'm going to take this down from here. Uh, hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Uh, the technical difficulties today. Welcome, welcome. My computer crashed. Why I'm so late. Totally blue screen. Totally at the wrong time. But it is what it is. I was upset. I was mad. But what can I do? Now I have to go out and buy a laptop because that one has died. Um, and the other laptops I had don't work. So I appreciate everybody. Again, I do apologize for the delay. I do. I am sorry, but let me tell y'all something. When I tell y'all, it has been one of them days. It has been, and I thank Robyn because she been hanging with me.
I'm
She
always hang.
she been hanging with me, and
We
and
like TK, we ride or die.
look, we ride or die. Let me tell y'all. I am frustrated. I am so frustrated. I want y'all to understand. I am really frustrated because I wanted to be on time for this because I want to have this conversation. Robin's like, well, maybe we should postpone it. I'm like, no. But let me show y'all. I want y'all to understand what it looked like. Don't look. I'm glad I cleared my room today, but I'm honest and I'm transparent, right? So look at this. I have a laptop here. I have a laptop there, and that's the laptop that crashed. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna show y'all too. Laptops. See, I got computers everywhere, and they crashed. I mean, the one crashed, and I'm trying to get these other two up because I promised my TikTok audience I was going to include y'all in this conversation, but I don't know how to do that. So
Where there's a will, there's a way,
where
Auntie
there's a will,
Renee.
there's a way. Yes, honey. Now I'm on my iPad on live for StreamYard, and I'm on TikTok on my phone. So if you want to hop over to either To a Woman's Heart Facebook, To a Woman's Heart YouTube, and you want to comment, I can see your comments on TikTok. I can see your comments in StreamYard because we're streaming everywhere else, right? But I want to have this conversation because it's been so many things said about this 50-part series, and me and Robyn have been talking about it as well, with all the conversations that we had as relate to Reesa Teesa's 50-part, Who the F Did I Marry? I stopped at part 43. Um, and how far did you get, Robyn?
I watched all the way through her summary, and I believe it was part 51 or 52. And I'm
Okay.
still wondering, what did she actually learn?
Okay, see what I'm saying? So I watched all the way up until 43. So here's the dialogue, and I want everybody to chime in. I want you to ask questions. If you come in late, whatever, however, we have our comment section up. I can see you on TikTok. Um, if you got a phone and a tablet, you can actually see what's happening on StreamYard. Like I said, if you go to A Woman's Heart YouTube, that's number two. A Woman's Heart YouTube is all one word. Go in and chime in and check it out, right? So I was talking to Robyn. So I'm 63, right? So I'm going from a perspective of being 63, right? And Robyn is going from a perspective of what age range are you going from this perspective from?
33.
So we
33.
got two sides of the spectrum, right? We got a 63-year-old and we got a 33-year-old, right? So meeting in the middle. So for me, I this is not to ding Reesa Teesa. The user said they watched all 50 episodes. Okay.
Yes.
Um, this is not the ding Reesa Teesa because I already got somebody on YouTube who called me a moron, and what I am not is a moron. Um, I do commend her for speaking her truth. I do commend her for speaking her truth, right? But I also want to make it known that she's not the first woman who's been through this, right? She's not the only one. The only difference between her and other women, she was courageous enough to share in detail her experience, what she'd been through, right? She was able to do that. Um, and the only difference between the other women, we don't share because we don't want to be judged. Our thing is us being judged. We hate to be judged. That's just simple as that. We don't like to be judged whatsoever. And I understand that. But people judge you without even knowing. So I'm gonna try to get us all together. People judge you. Oh, y'all got my phone in there too. Okay. Well, we just gonna work it out. People judge you. I'm telling you, people judge you without even knowing you. You right? You understand what I'm saying? Here's why a lot of people don't say things, because they don't want to feel the judgment, and they keep things to themselves. But when you're in a situation, and I say this on all my lives, and y'all can attest to this, the one thing we should do as women is affirm ourselves, right? It should be the best thing we can do is to affirm ourselves. Okay, this thing is echoing. Let me, y'all, give me a little mercy and a little grace here. I'm gonna try to kick this person out. That would be me. I'm kicking out on this other laptop. I'm kicking myself out. Um, can I remove? All right. So we need to affirm ourselves. We need to be assured of who we are as women. And that's what we don't do. So what is your opening take, Robyn? Give me your opening take.
Well, just reflecting on what you are saying tonight, I first of all I want to thank you for allowing me to come on your platform and just have open dialogue about this. But aside from judgment, I think that or judging ourselves rather, we have a problem with looking back through what we've gone through and what's helped us to become refined. And when we do hit different stages, of relationships or different experiences, I heard someone's perspective in terms of having empathy versus sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, I had plenty of empathy, but being where I am in my life, I'm like, how could I be so sympathetic to someone who had all of these warning signs and the opportunity to leave at some point, or having such intense happenings
Mm-hmm.
a certain period of time, to say, okay, this is not the way that I move on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that I withdraw in order to be my best self?
Right.
There were plenty of moments that were reflected on by Reesa Teesa where I feel like she could have fled, given that she didn't know this person initially to have had much history to stay.
Right. So for me, the first warning sign for me was when she said he had two profiles, right? He had two dating profiles. And she gave the example in one of her episodes that one profile said Matthew and the other profile said Matt, right? So people may think it may not be a anything to be concerned with, but that is still something for you to take a look at. Why would you need to have two different names if you are one person, right? Because
Right.
either a person is going to like you or they're not going to like you, right? But here is where I think the turn occurred for her
Mm-hmm.
when they finally scheduled the date, the initial date, when they finally scheduled the initial date to go out, right? And she ended with a blowout on the expressway. And she calls him, which was nice of her to do, to
Yeah.
call him and say, I can't make the date because I had a blowout, right? But you don't know this man, he don't know you. And he says to her, well, ping your location. And she was happy to oblige to ping her location. So
Right.
he gets to the location and he changed the tire. And we all know, women, I don't know how to change the tire, but I have common sense to know that we cannot drive a long span of time on a donut. That is obvious, right? And so then he proceeds to say to her, well, I took the liberty to check out places around you that sold tires. And we should
Mm-hmm.
go over there and get you a tire. And just meeting somebody Let's be honest. Just meeting somebody in reality, who is going to ask you to ping the location and who is going to take the time to go find somewhere to get you a tire? Because the first thing a person's going to say, do you have AAA on your car? Are you able to call your dealership? Because some dealerships in cars, they do, because I have it on my vehicle. If something happened to my tire, which it did, I got on my app, on my car app, and I contacted them, and they came and they changed my tire. I didn't need nobody to change my tire. But what was the defining moment for me was she was very excited about him buying that tire.
Okay, so I want to address what you're saying because I don't know if we're in opposition here, but I still believe in chivalry.
Uh-huh.
And him asking the question, that would have been normal for me. But not only that, coming and taking care of that tire before we actually went to the shop. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not even doing the whole tow process. Come out here and change that tire. And then we can go to our respective location. But then number two, it would be for me that, you know, maybe we wouldn't call AAA at all. Like, I got this, you know, let me handle it for you just because I was attracted to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I still don't know why she was so excited about that because men are still doing it, you know,
Right.
every day.
But that was their first time meeting. You didn't know nothing about this man. And so to your point, I asked the fellas at work, right? Because I wanted to know. I didn't just want my perspective, and I just didn't want your perspective, right? So I asked the guys at work, and I presented everything I said to you. I say, so if this is your first date, and this is the first time you meeting this woman, and she calls and tell you that something is wrong with her tire, are you going to ask her to ping the location? Are you going to allow him to show up? And are you going to be okay with buying her tire? Her a tire. I don't know. She didn't say it was used or new. It didn't matter. He bought her a tire, right? Would you do that? And the first thing they said was no. They told me no. And you know the reasons why? They say
Why?
the first time you meet her, I don't know this person.
Yeah.
I don't know
You don't
this
know if
person.
it's a setup or not.
Exactly. And they said if we had been in a relationship, it was different. But for me, first time meeting you, I don't know nothing about you. I don't. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to put myself out there to come and ping your location and change your tire and then buy you a tire. I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to get
understand that viewpoint, you know,
yeah,
from other people. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Guys are being, you know, put into a position now where they are being criticized on a regular basis. I think guys are finding more self-respect, you know, and self-worth. That
right.
could be an honest answer.
Right. It could be, but again, we are living in different times. You know,
Mm-hmm.
back then, I would have been like, okay, I don't see nothing wrong. But today, as sneaky and crazy as people,
Yeah.
no. Thank you, but no thank you, because I don't know nothing about you neither. You understand what I'm saying? I have no
Mm-hmm.
idea about you. I've never even seen you. All I know is we've had conversations on the phone, right? That's all
Right.
I know. We had conversations on the phone, and this is our first time meeting, right? But for me, she was excited about the tire, and I understand that. But I want to be over excited about the tire. Show me something else besides
Exactly.
just, paying for my tire. And then in the short time frame, as she went on to discuss about going into COVID, and she was very clear in
Mm-hmm.
saying that she did not want to quarantine alone.
So, Auntie, before you go too far on that, let's talk about that year. Let's just give a
Okay.
backstory.
Okay.
So, everybody was being stricken with being diagnosed with COVID since what, November 2019,
Right.
before everything started to shut down. I believe the official shutdown was March 2020. And given the timeline that they knew each other, her not being in a position to want to be alone,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to kind of open up on that piece because it just seems kind of strange. I mean, there were some significant events that happened from the time that they met to them actually going into quarantine and then her having the oops pregnancy, right? So
But you know what? He was very convincing, first of all. His conversation was very convincing. And what I want for us as women to pay attention to, and this is really serious. We need to pay attention to the aroma we give off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just told somebody that today. We need to pay attention to the aroma. When you have a lack of confidence,
Mm-hmm.
people can pick up on that aroma. When you have low self-esteem, people can pick up on that aroma. When you have a sense of not wanting to be alone, people can pick up on that aroma. When you have a sense of desperation, people can pick up on that aroma, and they use that scent that you give off to their advantage,
Yes,
right?
they truly do.
They
And you will find people to prey on.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And when you have not put yourself on a solid foundation,
Mm-hmm.
that's when individuals can slip into the cracks and the crevices, right? And I'm not saying it just don't happen to women. It happened to men too.
Mm-hmm.
Men are subject to these very things, but no man has ever come forward. Now, what it has done, like it did for Cassie, it opened up a whole can of worms, right? What I don't like in all the conversation is the body shaming, because body shaming should not have anything to do with people like who they like, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter your shape. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It does not matter the texture of your hair. You like who you like. Everybody have different reasons why they're attracted to people the way they're attracted to. So the body shaming, I don't agree with, right? I don't care how big, how small you may be. Don't body shame anybody, because you never know what level you can push that person over the edge. And suicide is real. So we really
Mm-hmm.
need to be conscious and cautious of how we address things that are sensitive in that sense.
And
Uh,
everybody has played a fool, you know.
Everybody, including me. I don't
and
know.
and and unintentionally,
Exactly.
I mean, they're warning signs for a reason, but all of us have different experiences, that we have different levels of wisdom that don't make us yield to those signs.
Exactly. But here what I always say, and I always say when I tell y'all this all the time, you are not your mistake. We make mistakes, but we are not our
Mhm.
mistake. You understand what I'm saying? We are human beings. And what we should do is learn from every aspect of our lives when we go through things. But in each relationship that we deal with, we should take something from that. What is about me that I draw these type of individuals? What is it
Mhm.
about me, or what am I missing within myself that I feel like I should ignore the warning signs? And she addressed this later on down the line. She said she didn't want to be alone,
Mhm.
right? She said she wanted to be married, right? And she was comfortable.
But I do want to, go back to entering the
Go
pandemic,
ahead.
because if we rounding out the impact, let's talk about what occurred. So these folks knew each other for probably about a month. And with
Mm-hmm.
all these different things swirling from November up into that March time period before the actual close, I'm wondering how much dating could have occurred. Was it all conversation and somebody being able to wrap you up and maybe physical touch and maybe affirming things in you, doing acts of service that you thought that this person actually loved you enough in order for you to spend your time enclosed in one space together for an entire quarantine? It The math is not mathing for me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, we've all been through that period together in the pandemic. There were some people who were absolutely alone during that time period. Some people
Mhm.
who were enclosed with folks that were in their families and they loved them, but they
Right.
were starting to get an itch from being there and not being in their regular routine. So I'm wondering, why, even if she had this want and desire for marriage or not wanting to be alone, and him having a place,
Hey, good evening, lucky lady.
why couldn't they just come together from time to time across town, and he just gas up his car and they get together? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So submissive, the missing piece for me is the getting to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
There, there was no getting to know.
The actual dating.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that there was anywhere that you could date, really.
Yeah. There was no getting to know whatsoever. There was no getting to know. No getting to know whatsoever. You never got a chance to get to know. And the problem for some of us, we don't get to know. It is so important for us to get to know people before we take the leap, you
Yeah.
know. And a lot of people, even in quarantine, got divorced because they figured out the person that they was married to was not the person they want to spend the rest of their life with. So either it's going to draw you or it's going to drive you, right? But it's all about the motive in which we do the things that we do. And so that may be a thing we need to take a look at. Why do you get married? Why do you settle for the things you do? Why is it
Mm-hmm.
okay to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear? Why? You have to ask yourself these questions and not just jump off the mountain into the deep end. You don't know if them waters is deep enough to hold you or not.
Yeah.
And so she took that leap without even recognizing or realizing when the signs are so prominent in her face.
Mhm. I think that there is a lot of things that we could actually speak to as far as our relativity in relationships and how we handle them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, with us having an age range difference, have you ever experienced, having an epiphany after a long standing relationship and wondered, in the midst of turbulence, what was the reason that you got together? And then poof, it came up like, man, I was going through a hard time when we got together, and you were a comfort, and then you realize your lifestyles don't align. You don't
Okay.
even like the same things, but they
Right.
gave you one thing that one of my sisters, one of my best friends, gave to me the other day. She said I couldn't understand why she had just two yeses but all these no's
Mm-hmm.
that persisted throughout the continuum of the relationship. What
Mm-hmm.
was it that kept her, steadfast in keeping them together? And then there were points throughout the relationship where I was even wondering, like, do you all have a level of intimacy, or is this more of a business type partnership that you're calling romance?
Well, here for me, and I can always talk about me. I'm gonna always be honest about me. So when I was gonna get married, I done told y'all this story. I'm gonna tell it again. I was gonna get married, right? I had dress, I had veil, I had hall, I had cake, I had my girls, I had the date, I had the time, I had everything set up, right? And everything was going okay until little signs start to peek their head in. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the signs was we was in the house and I had went to Goose Island. If you've been living this in Chicago, Illinois, you know Goose Island is a popular place where they have these nice large shrimp, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my niece was in the living room with us, and she had her hands full, and I took the shrimp, and and I had something else. She said, "Let me taste it." So I let her taste it. So he was like, "Well, why are you feeding her? She can feed herself." And I'm like, her hands are full. It was just something simple. Her
Mm-hmm.
hands was full. And so at that point, she was turned off from him. She didn't want to be around him anymore. And then um you know, he started to make little comments about how I dress. You know, he dropped me off at rehearsal one night and he says, and this came up in counseling, he says, she spoke to somebody and she was going in the door. Well, common sense, somebody say hello, Renee, you say hello back, right? That's common sense. So I
Right.
said hello. I didn't know who the person was, but they knew who I was. I sang in the choir. We went to various churches. You might know who I am. I might not know who you is, but you know
Mm-hmm.
who I is. It's polite if somebody speak to you, speak back. But it was all these little signs that was popping up. Now I could have chose to ignore it,
Right.
and I could have chose to go ahead and get married. But when we sat in counseling section, he
Mm-hmm.
started, and oh, let me back up. So one day we coming home, his car broke down, so he used my car to run some errands. And so on the way home from him picking me up from work, the first thing he tells me is, when you get in the house, I need to lay all your bills out on the table. I need to know what you got in your bank account.
No,
I
he
need to know
didn't.
all the bills that you got. And I need you to put my name on this house. That was the house that my parents had bought at the time when I was living there. So he
Yeah.
was adamant about that, right? And I looked at up the side of his face while he driving because I saw stupid going down the side of his STUPID.
No, you did.
Stupid. You stupid. You really have lost your mind if you think I'm going to put your name on this house. So he was just going, and he was serious about that thing. So when he pulled up in front of the house, he got out the car. I hopped on the driver's seat. I closed the door. I said, no, the hell I will not. I said, if you want a keys to a house, baby, let me tell you what you're going to do. You're going to go find us a house, and we both going to get a new set of keys, and both our names is going on the house. So we sit in counseling, and he's running all this stuff down. And the hairs on my neck start to rise, and my nose started to spread, and my eyebrows start to go backwards, right? And I'm listening to you, and I look over to you, and the aha moment clicked in. What the hell? So I sat up in the chair on the edge of my chair, and I started to cuss, right?
Yeah.
But I looked over, and I saw the pastor. He's sitting in the chair. And I said, Renee, you can't say that. But in the back of my mind, it would say, go ahead and say it. But I was like, no, you can't say that, right? And so pastor was like, well, let's pray. And let's come back and revisit. I said, no, we ain't got to pray. We ain't got to pray. We ain't got to talk about it. Because as far as I'm concerned, right now, this second, this minute, this hour, this wedding is off. I refuse to be married to anybody I hate to come home to.
I know that's
right
real.
Now, I'm not doing it. So he turns to me and he says to me, you got your dress, you got your veil, you got the hall, you got this. I said, I don't care what the hell I got. I don't care. If I got to marry you and deal with this jealousy and not have no peace, I prefer to lose my money and live in peace.
I know that's real.
I'm not doing that. And I meant what I said. And then I told him, I said, I wouldn't care if I was fully dressed. People were sitting in the church. I was fully dressed. Gown, veil, flowers, standing there. I would have turned around and said, I got a public service announcement. Ain't no wedding happen here today. We can go to the hall since it's paid for. We can have a party. But take your gift back graciously and get your money back. And I meant that thing. But I was also grounded in my foundation of who I was as an individual.
Yes, right? Ma'am.
And I was okay with being by myself as I am today. Because I said, for me, I don't have to settle. And if you can't love me and treat me like the good thing that God said I am,
yes,
then I don't need nobody in my life. I am not lowering my standards to please people. I am not lowering my standards and settle for less than I'm worth to be okay with, making somebody else happy. And I don't want nobody to look at me. I don't care if you looked at me sideways, cross-eyed, four-eyed, triple-eyed, double-sided. I don't care. Your opinion for me and what I will accept, what it don't have no merit in my life whatsoever. And that's the foundation that we as women need to have for ourselves. Because if we get that foundation, then we won't settle for things like Reesa Teesa settled for.
We got an amen from Facebook and also preach from Instagram. We thank you guys for viewing tonight. Auntie gonna cut up on us. Keep going, Auntie.
Look, I'm just saying. So then this fool tried to kill me on the way home, driving 80 miles an hour down Chicago Avenue. I said, what
no,
you
he didn't.
Yeah. I said, what you trying to do? Kill me? You trying to kill me? Because I say I'm not marrying you? Because I'm not. Ain't nothing you can say can change my mind, because you showed me you are a jealous, controlling individual. And you cannot raise me. I've already been raised. If my mama and daddy didn't do a good job, ain't nothing you can do for me.
Well, what and you said?
I'm not settling for that. I said, now you can go in the house. You can make your phone call to your family members. You can tell them whatever you want to tell them. I don't care. But what I am going to do, I'm going in here to get undressed, take me a shower, and I'm going to lay down and rest a little while. But if you try something funny, Jesus, you will meet. I promise you.
And this reminds me of where Reesa Teesa, she was just a little bit too calm for me. And if you guys don't understand where the timeline hits, this happened way back in 2020 and lasted up until 2021. And I think she had something that resurfaced at the beginning of 2022. My goodness. She is reflecting on this story as if she's not healed.
She's
And
not.
maybe not created that foundation for herself now. And I'm wondering, while she's telling the story, y'all, when were you ever heated with this man?
Never. You
When he had all of these, conflicting stories about somebody showing up to the house and revving you up, that's where I would have click clocked on him.
No, let me tell you where I would have click clocked on him. I'm gonna click down where I would have click clocked on him. Understand me? Because I would have clocked, clicked, and clapped. And when he would have came to the hospital, they would have needed an extra bed because he would have been need to lay in it.
Oh yeah, when he didn't show up for that baby.
When she,
my goodness.
Here is the thing that really, when I knew it was when I got to this part, I know, oh hell, I said hell no. You can't be that slow. You just can't be that slow. When she said when he was happy about the pregnancy, but when the doctor said that you cannot take this pregnancy to term, we need to terminate the pregnancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I am scared, right? Mm-hmm. And I want you to go with me. And he says, let me get my sister to take you.
Not my sister.
Not my sister. A woman that you ain't never met in your life. But
exactly. Let me and who created this child?
Let me get my sister to take you. Now, let's put a pin. A real man, a real man, his job, his mama, his daddy, his sister, nobody's going to stop him for being by your side.
When exactly. Especially somebody who's just already giving you all of this hope and embrace. Like, come on now. Now I gotta meet a secondary person. I don't even know this person. This person is a third connection.
Y'all hear what I'm saying, TikTok? Nobody who loves you, who truly, genuinely loved you, will let you go through that by yourself. You understand what I'm saying? If that man loved you, he would have been right there by your side. This is where the disconnect was for me. Let's see, disconnect for me. And then when she goes, her friend takes her to the hospital. And then he makes up this conversation that he got an assistant. Dave, call Dave. Who the hell is Dave? I ain't met your sister. I ain't met Dave. This is the first time I'm even hearing about a Dave. And then you telling me to relate my personal business that's between you and me to somebody named Dave, and I don't know who that. And you telling me that he is your personal assistant.
I would have told him he was a bold-faced lie walking up out of the house with that forklift uniform on every day. You ain't got no assistant.
Yeah, hello. And
who is Dave?
And then when they call not one time, not two times, not three times, but abundance of time for him to come pick her up. And he still took his sweet time. Healing takes time. It do. He still took his sweet time to pick her up. And she had to listen to the conversation while she was still lightly sedated. And here for me, when I'd have woke up, I'd have asked him, what the hell was you doing? It took you so long to get to the hospital to come pick me up.
And he's so eager to do everything else, be eager to just stand by my side. It's the simple things. But we ain't got to talk about it because you done already done it.
You understand what I'm saying?
That would have been the first cue. If you hadn't had a few before that one intense situation would have probably, especially at that age, I believe she was 36 then, I would have had to go. So I'm wondering what's missing.
Let me tell you something. I have a child that's deceased. He passed at the age of 3. The most difficult thing in life, and I'm telling you, the most difficult thing, he had too many small things to turn into gigantic things. Yeah. The most difficult things in life, in the loss of a child, whether you have stillborn, whether the child is born and crib death, or whether the child is 3, 18, 15, it doesn't matter. That's the most difficult thing for a woman to deal with.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that's the time when the woman needs that person the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's in that time because that is an emotional roller coaster ride that is so unexplainable, and your
Mm-hmm.
emotions are not controlled in that aspect. You need a hug, you need some words, you need some reassurance because the first thing that happens, and it's not intentional, you feel less than, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you're not the woman that you should have been, and then you start to blame yourself. You start to blame yourself. Maybe it's something that I've done to deserve this, and it's nothing that you have done. Sometimes God says yes and sometimes he says no, but when you're sitting in that thing, it makes a world of difference. It's very emotional to
Mm-hmm.
lose a child because that is something that is a part of you. That child is a part of you. You got the news, you're excited about the growth, you're excited about the bonding. But when you have to make the decision to terminate the pregnancy, when
Mm-hmm.
you have to know that what you was having high hopes for, what you was looking for, to seeing their smiling face and feeling their small hands and playing with their little bitty feet, and what you're looking for is hearing that first cry, and to know that that is not going to take place, that's very detrimental to you.
Yes.
And it's a feeling, and it's an emotion that is unexplainable, right? And unless you walk, sat, laid in them shoes, you wouldn't understand. But what he should have done was
Mm-hmm.
been there for her, right? Even though he thought making up for taking care of her, she said he was good to her when she got home. But here was the flip again. So it flipped again.
What's
So
the
he
flip?
he didn't take her. He took too long to come get her. He took care of her, but then he flipped again. And she still didn't catch the flip. It's when he told the mother and the auntie, don't call and don't come for a week. How you gonna tell that girl's mama that's her child not to come see about her child for a week? Where they do that at?
And you also didn't show up initially. So why do you think that they hadn't had some sort of agreement like, I need you here?
Right.
You don't have custody. But that was a level of control that, again, I'd have fled.
But you know what? Abusers start with mind. So they play mind game. And let me tell
Mhm.
y'all something. I don't care. We're in 1918, 1935, 1955, 1970, 2019, and 2024. Game is still game. It's still game. It's just how people are playing it now. And our eyes and our ears need to be open for the game that's being played. You understand?
The narcissistic brainwash.
Okay, why is this thing swapping? It's still game. I don't care how you look at it, it's still game. All these things for me would have been not a no, it would have been a hell no. I'm
Hmm.
not doing that. It would have been a hell no for me. And then let's go back a little bit before she ended up pregnant. The move in.
Oh, yeah.
The move in. So if a man, and if any men is on here, y'all can attest to this. When y'all make a certain amount of money, y'all gonna get y'all crib, y'all house, y'all pad, however y'all want to call it, intact. Because that place is gonna be a woman catcher, right? So you gonna lay that thing out with the coins that you got. You gonna make it look good. So whoever you pull in there, they're gonna be like, you gonna be like, yeah, this me. You see me? I know you see me, right? You see me what I'm doing over here. Uh-huh. I'm a catch. Because you want to set the tone, right? So you making all this money and you live in a studio apartment. Are you serious? A studio.
And he a VP.
And you a
And
VP
Dave his assistant.
with Dave with assistant. They done bought you a car and everything, and you live in a studio apartment. Baby, what again, where they do that at? Where they do that at? Stevie Wonder could have seen that. Where they do that at? And Then when quarantine time comes, because you don't want to quarantine alone, then he eased in the conversation. Well, we can do it in my studio apartment, which you never said you ever been to or not. You never said you seen it. You never said you visited. None of that stuff. So
They
how do we
weren't
know?
really dating. That's the issue for me. Like,
Hey,
you guys, I mean, during this time period, all y'all could have had was Netflix and some
and
boneless
chill.
wings.
Uh-huh. Netflix and chill. Netflix and cuddle. Netflix and rub me up one side and down the other. That's what you can do. Make it a little saucy, make it a little spicy, make mama go, it's a little tingling, baby.
Hey, everybody on Instagram. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining.
So now y'all make the decision. He had been to your house, evidently. He didn't been to your house. He know you got 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. So the obvious choice is to quarantine at your place. Because I really don't have a place to quarantine in. You know, just playing the game. And the aroma that you're giving off is letting me know that you're okay with me playing the game. So I'm going to play this game till I can't play it no more and until I get caught, right? And so she allowed this man to move in with her without even knowing who he was. But let me put a pin here for y'all because I want y'all to think about this. Hey, Latrice, I want y'all to think about this. And tell me if I'm right and tell me if I'm wrong. You meet somebody, and for the time frame y'all been talking, and you said y'all had a lot of conversation. He worked for this company as a VP, right? He's got a sister. You ain't never met the sister, right? Nobody had no barbecues. Nobody had no funerals. Nobody had no birthday parties. Nobody had no retirement parties. Nobody had no baby showers. The job didn't have no events. You never took him no lunch. None of that.
And she even had his social, supposedly.
He had 2.
Which we learned later on it was a different number. You didn't try to run a background check.
But what I'm saying, in a relationship, what y'all talking about? We're talking about Reesa Teesa's story. Who the F did I marry? We're just having conversation. We're trying to understand. We're trying to enlighten. We're trying to get some clarity of how we get into the position we get into. And why do we feel it okay to ignore the warning sign? And what is about us as women that we accept the things that we accept? And how can we do better? And how can we be better? That's what we're talking about, baby.
Auntie Shay on Instagram said, not boneless wings. Yes, boneless wings. Because wasn't nothing popping at that time. And this man knew you 3 weeks and you said you wanted to cut her up. That's a problem for me. We got to learn how to have, respect for ourselves to be in our own solitude. And if you can't find a trusted friend or a family member, baby, I'll see you later. Because you got too much time, it seems, Mr. VP.
Let me tell
you. I know they hooked you up to the remote network at home.
Hello. You better be Zooming. I'm telling you, you better be doing something, some Zooming, some Google Meet, some Skype, something you better be doing. You understand?
They said hopeful desperation on my side.
You understand what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all this story. And I didn't think about this story till me and Robyn was talking, right? And the Lord brought it back to my memories. It was in the back of my mind, but he brought it to the forefront of my mind. So I figured I would share with everybody else. So my family members say I have an RBF face, right? Y'all know what that is?
Not the RBF.
They say I have a resting bitch face. And I'm okay with that because I do.
We just stoic, Auntie.
But my face is, don't play with me because I ain't the one. I'm not dealing with the okie doke. I'm not the one. Because I done had all kinds of approaches. I done had a man tell me, I'll take it to White Castle. You give me some. Do I look like a single burger from White Castle? Get the hell from me. I don't do that. But anyway, so I was at the doctor's office, right? And this young man was sitting in the lobby with me while I was waiting on my physician to come for my appointment. And so I do. Okay, it's okay. And I'll keep it till Jesus comes. But I bet you I ain't taking no crap off nobody neither. And they know. Because what you dish out, I dish it right back. I give it thee back. I promise you I do. And so I'm sitting there and he started talking. So I thought about what my nieces and stuff said. So he asked me for my number. I went on, I gave it to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked for a couple of days, and finally he said, I love you too, baby. I love you too. He says to me, he said, well, let's go out this weekend. I said, okay, that's fine. He said, well, I'm going to let you know where we're going to go. I said, that's cool, you know. So he told me where we was going. So I made plans, you know, to get dressed and all this stuff. And so Saturday comes and he calls and he says, I have this meeting to go to. It's an unexpected meeting. I said, okay. I said, well, let me know when you out and then I'll meet you. He said, I can pick you up. I said, nope, don't do the pickup thing. I don't know you. I'll meet you. I can drive myself. That's what we're going to do. So I'll meet you at the restaurant. He was like, okay, fine. I'll let you know when I get out the meeting, right? I never got out. I never removed myself from laying across the bed, right? Because, you know, your instincts don't never lead you wrong. Never, ever lead you wrong. So I never removed myself from laying across the bed. So he called me about 3 hours after the fact, right, that we were supposed to meet up. And he says, my meeting ran late. What's your address?
Nothing.
I said, excuse me? He said, my meeting ran late. What's your address? And I said, excuse me? He said, I'm going to come on and hang out with you. I said, who the hell told you finna come hang out with? I don't even know you. Well, I figured since we didn't go to dinner, I hang out. No, you're not. Where you get that from? Baby, I got off the boat yesterday. You got the right one, baby, because no, we ain't doing that one. The plan was for us to go to dinner. Now you want to change the plan and you want me to give you my address. I don't even know you. You could be a serial killer. You could be anything. Why the hell would I let you come to my house? Oh, it's like that. It sure the hell is.
Not that he planned your alternative.
You hear what I'm saying?
We don't get to alternate from dinner to Netflix and chill. I'm sorry.
3 hours. You hear what I'm saying? Justice for 3 hours later. I want y'all to understand. Game is still game. I don't care how y'all look at it. It's still game. But you have to recognize when the game is being played. That was his intention all the time. You see what I'm saying? He never wanted us to go to dinner. The meeting was just, you know, to stall time to see if I was gonna be one of them desperate women to let you a fool. I may be slow. I ain't that damn slow. Understand what I'm saying?
The thing about people seeing the light that you emit on a regular basis, and this is something I've learned over the past 10 years, if you carry a light, people are naturally going to be drawn to it. But as soon as they come into your web and they find out how you actually operate, they tend to fly away like mosquitoes without a light.
He used
they are repelled from you.
Yeah.
And it's a gift to have that divinity, but to know how to use it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know how to apply yourself in these situations.
You do. And has fallen for that line. Many has fallen for that line, the real life one. I'm telling you. So he kept being persistent. And I told him, I said, baby, we're not finna waste no conversation. And I said, I'll tell you what you do. I said, you listen. He said, yes. I say, lose my number because I'm finna block yours. And I hung up the phone. You see what I'm saying? So game is still game. It's still game. It's all about how the game is being played, the things that you accept, the things that you allow.
He was expecting for you not to have a standard at all.
He was expecting no integrity, no morals, and no value neither. So he thought he was going to come over there and get in between my legs, baby. No. You got to work for these goods over here, baby. You don't get over here for free 99. It costs. Yeah. Don't play. Ain't doing that one. So, yeah.
So, Auntie, I want to talk to you about information. So there was a lot of information that came in this short time period that Reesa Teesa and Legion were, you know, connected. And throughout my 20s, I've had experiences where people have helped me realize that giving up too much information really is a strong indicator that you're a liar.
Yep.
And I remember I started seeing this guy when I was probably about 23, 24 years old.
Thank you, Miss.
when we met, he was so open about everything that was going on with him. He said that he had gotten out of a relationship probably about a year ago where they were at the point about to get married. He supposedly cheated on him, and he decided to call off the wedding. They tried to work it out, but he just couldn't get over what had occurred. And then he felt very, very hurt. And the next person that he's going to be in a relationship, he wanted to know that they were loyal and that they were, truthful, as well as taking responsibility for commitment. And this is that and the third. Now, mind you, I was 23 years old, probably a bit more green than I am today. But quickly things turned. And I found out that he was the actual abuser, emotionally and mentally, to this particular person, without even having gotten the story from that person. But everything that he was revealed to me just by his actions. Now, Reesa Teesa, she had 50 parts because there was truly a lot of information for us to unpack with her. And I was just thinking while you were talking, in having
reflecting.
In having meetings with people, we really have to be aware of how much people are ready to divulge to you in such a short time frame. If somebody is in a woe is me place,
yeah,
you need to be cautious about who's penetrating your spirit, who's got access to you, and how you're ingesting what they're giving to you. I find that people who are willing to give up so much of their privacy and what they have personal to them are liars.
Exactly. But here's the thing for me. When he started divulging all the information, it was not all that what he was saying, it was what he wasn't saying, right? So we always listen to what's being said, but we never look at the cracks in the crevices of what's not being said, right? He talked about his family, but he never said, well, let me take you to meet my family, right? He talked about one of his wife, but he never said that he was married 2 times. You understand what I'm saying? And we never do our due diligence in checking and verify.
He was having the phone calls with his so-called brother, but come to find out, they had been estranged for years. How is it that you play a bond?
Exactly. But here is the thing too. And like me and Robyn was talking about this too. Let me tell y'all something. For those who have your phones attached to your cars, first date, he said he had offshore accounts. He would have been blocked. You see what I'm saying? That's it, Felicia. But here's the thing. When she said he was not making phone calls, let me clear something up. Let us be explicitly clear so we can be really transparent here. Your phone is attached to your car, right? All the time when you get in the car and a call comes through, your first instinct is not to detach your phone from your car. No accidents never happened that the phone accidentally went into the car. No accidents ever happened that the phone went on speakerphone, because my phone have done that.
He's a VP, for God's sakes.
Exactly. He never had no conference calls at home. He never had no Zoom meetings at home. None of this never took place, and he's living in the house with you from sunrise to sunset. He never sat down at the kitchen table, the dining room table, and say, babe, I need about an hour because I got an important conference call with my team. He never told you none of this, and you never thought about it. You told us where you worked at. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, he took you by the job. And what blew me was when he called the security guard and told her, well, my badge only work when I get on the floor. It don't work when you go to the door. Let me say, if you're a VP of a company, your badge work on all the doors. Not just
say that again,
but it work on all the doors. You understand what I'm saying? All the doors. You ain't got to call nobody because you're the VP of the company. And why you got to call security? You call security and say, look, I'm going into the building. I left my badge at home. I need somebody in the lobby to let me in the building, right? But that ain't what happened. And she believed that. So and I'm not being funny, I'm not being mean. Is your elevator stuck on the emergency stop in the basement? That's all I'm saying. It ain't going to the first floor. Something is not connecting. And then the next thing for me is when he said his parents was a pastor and all this stuff, and they founded this church. Let me tell y'all, for y'all good old Christian folks, he should have had he should have his own code. Exactly. Most churches, when they're founders of churches, they engraved it in the building somewhere. It says founder, the people that founded the church, and the date. You understand what I'm saying? But reality, ain't nobody found no church. The God said, upon this rock I'm gonna build my church, the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. We ain't found nothing. We found the building that the church can congregate in, but ain't nobody found no church. So let's clarify that, right?
You probably gonna find some pictures too to confirm it all.
So you believe that, but you say your mama was a praying woman. So if your mama is a praying woman, and you know church, and you know Jesus, you didn't know that the founder would be on the kiosk of the building. None of this never rang a bell to you that you say, let me check. And you didn't say to him, well, we can't get at it tomorrow. I'm going to meet you for lunch because I want to see what your office look like. None of this never came up. Come on.
I was wondering what the intricacies were as far as the relationships that he held with the people at the church. Because I would have had to try to encounter 5 or 6, hey, let me talk to you.
I'm going to say this again. and I say this all the time. And I pray that after we have this conversation, we get it, we be better, we do better, we choose better, right? We protect our bank accounts, right? I said on the live stream, I say, would you get a stack of index cards about this high, right? Would you write your routing and your bank account number and where you bank at? You work at PNC, US Bank, Chase Bank, any credit union. Would you put your name on there? And would you hand out these cards on the busiest street? And would you tell them, go to my bank and withdraw as much as you want? And I don't care if you overdraw my account, right? Would you give somebody that permission? People would say no, right?
Right.
We would say no. You wouldn't say, you say, hell no, you have lost your mind. Think I'm going to write my bank account, my routing number, right? Put on my thing how I write my name and tell you where I bank at until you go in my good account that I put my good hard money in that account. You think I'm going to give you these cards so you go in my bank account and withdraw when you feel like withdrawing? The answer would be no, right? Wouldn't the answer be no? Right? You say no, right, Robyn?
I say no.
Okay. So let me ask this question. Why do we give people access to our life account?
I guess because you have hope for change. You put so much thought into someone's potential,
But
I don't know.
But we allow people to snatch our confidence. We allow people to snatch our self-esteem. We allow people to snatch our voice. We allow people to take our heart and misuse it. We allow people to take our kindness for weakness. That's snatching from your life account. We'll protect our bank account, but we won't protect our life account. So with Reesa Teesa, she was protecting her money, but where the value was protecting her life.
Exactly.
And she did not protect her life. She put the value in the money. She put the value in what the man could do for her. And she even said it. I live from paycheck to paycheck. This man paid all my bills. I don't care. Self-sufficiency is so important. Do not depend on somebody else to take care of you. Make sure that you always in a position to take care of yourself, whether you live from paycheck to paycheck or not. So she put too much value in the materialistic thing that he did instead of looking at the message that she should have been paying to. She put the blinders on.
And I think that's where people differ. We all put our value into different things, but now I hope that she puts herself first.
I hope she do. And I hope whoever women, the women that's on here, if this is you, baby, today is your day of change. Today is your day of opening your eyes. Today is your day of looking at things differently. And today is the day of valuing you. Today is the day to love you. Today is the day to appreciate you. That's your day. This is your day. Today is the day for you to do that. And stop letting people just walk all over you. Baby, let me tell you, what that man carry is good. That third leg, oh, it's great. I get it. You know, that third leg be popping to hit all the right spots when you need them to. But baby, let me tell you, the third leg can't pay a light bill, a gas bill, your rent, your mortgage, can't get you no a car, don't pay car notes and car insurance. And when that third leg is gone, you still in the same predicament you are in, right? They got them things, battery operate, plug in, they blow up, they do everything else, and they give you less hell and less headaches. Understand what I say? So we put our value on what's important to us and stop just going with what people say and believe what they tell you, because it's not valid. Somebody say, I'm divorced. Where your paperwork at? Where your paperwork? And the thing with the house, well, he had the proof of funds, right? Approval letter from Chase. And everybody know, believe what they do. Everybody know that even with proof of funds, if you don't use that in a certain time frame, that stuff expires. We all know that, right?
Somebody over here is saying false idolization and put it on a t-shirt, auntie. Game is still game.
You hear what I'm saying? Game is still game. You hear me? Game is still game. So you didn't think to check and verify. Y'all went to 30 plus houses. And when the people asked for proof of funds, he refused to give proof of funds, and you still stayed. Something was wrong with that picture for me. If the real estate agency is asking you, and that's their profession, and you find all these houses, and he come with every excuse in the book, I'm going to say to you, what the hell is your problem? And why the hell am I looking at houses that you don't have the money for? Because clearly, some ain't adding up. The math ain't mathing.
This whole thing is ringing to me what the old folks used to ask, you gonna pick your poison? Because the thing that's going on right now in 2024 is people are up against each other, like who's better, you know what I mean? Who got the most and who got this? And having that mindset, valuing the material thing, you miss out on the pleasantries that you can have with an honest person, somebody who actually loves you, somebody who's in a position to build with you. You know, why are we looking for a VP who is presenting to us these things and then find out they're a lie? It's not just crack cocaine. It's not just infidelity that's a poison. It's you putting everything into one bucket around these simple values that somebody needs to have in conjunction with, you know, the love and the passion for you. But you put those things first. You put the cart before the horse, and this man was never able to prove to you what was going on. There were times throughout this whole series where she was like, I'm going to figure out this and I'm going to investigate this. You all didn't have a sit down to say, how are we going to manage our finances?
Somebody said who had nothing but a suitcase.
What'd you say?
Somebody said on TikTok who had nothing but a suitcase.
Exactly. But you didn't sit down with this man. And in the end, this man showed you a screenshot of his bank account.
Yeah. But here is my thing. Here is my thing. And it took me back to when I saw in Tamron Hall. She didn't come to the table with no expectations. She didn't come to the table with no boundaries. She didn't come to the table with none of that. Right. And then you have to wonder, did she really know who she was as an individual? Because her thing was, she thinking that I'm making money from all of this. And I'm not saying that you're making money from all this, but I'm saying it's the money that he pretended to have that caused you to stay the longest.
And she picked the poison of a liar because of her idolization of money.
Yep. It was the
and comfort, you know, and provision and protection. If that's your security, we got a lot of things to look at.
Yeah, and why you're doing the things you do. And then other part where she should have really paid attention when he promised to get her the car and then he got her what he wanted her to have.
That Nissan Altima that she didn't want.
Yeah.
And was still paying the bill on. Didn't she say she had them come pick it up?
I don't know.
Or was that his vehicle?
No, that was her. I mean, that was her vehicle. I think that was something he could afford to pay for.
Because by part 50, 51, she was saying that she's now left a relationship with no actual ties to him, whereas previously she had the note to pay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know what else? Live age restricted. Your live may contain things not suitable for a younger audience and has been age restricted. Okay. Um, Made me lose my thought process.
We were talking about that car and poison.
Yeah, she went. Here's the thing. Here was something else that got me too. When she said, I guess she got an attorney now, that the brother called her back to tell her something that was not true. I said, you wasting a phone call, because hell, all what he said was a lie. So you ain't got to clarify the lie. The lie was a lie. And what we need to know, the truth stand on its own. You don't have to. The truth don't need a crutch, a wheelchair, a chair, a bed. Don't need nothing to lay on. Don't need nothing to sit on. Truth stand for itself. He was so good at what he did, but he wasn't really that great. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He was only as good as you let him be in the lie.
Mm-hmm.
Because the handwriting was definitely on the wall, and you chose to ignore it. If they'd have put it on TV, if they'd have put a ticker tape at the bottom, if they'd have ran a commercial, they'd have put on every social media outlet, you still would have chose to ignore it, because you liked the perks and the privileges you was getting. You didn't have to spend your money. You said, all I had to do is pay my car note, pay my car, take care of my stuff, get my fingers and my feet done. And he took care of everything. Well, hell, the forklift driver could afford to do that. You said yourself your bills wasn't that much, so the forklift driver could afford to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing that was astronomical, but yet and still you blew off the job. You blew off the church. Y'all never went to church. You blew off your religious belief not to shack with nobody. You blew off with moving somebody in ASAP. You blew off the 30 houses, the 50 houses y'all went to look at, and he never had no proof of income. You blew off you having to terminate a pregnancy. He asked his sister to go with you, and then he gave you his administrative assistant. You blew off all this stuff because you chose to 52 parts of your life you blew off. That's a year. 52 weeks in a year that you blew off stuff that was slapping you from one side of your face to the other. And you know what my mom used to tell me when I was a kid? She used to say, find the food and bump their head.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, huh? She said, find the food, bump their head. Some people get their head bumped the hell out of them. And what she did, she got her head bumped. Really?
Mm-hmm. And I just really have to wonder, like, what was really going on. She mentioned that her mother eventually told her that she had a bad feeling about him, but in that week that they had spent at the house with the mother there, she said that the mother and Legion were just frolicky and happy, and they were talking and they were comfortable in the same space. But you know your mama. And you know what she's taught you all this time. She's a praying woman. You didn't see any mannerism in her that struck a chord within you to say, let me take a deeper look, especially when you had those feelings of doubt,
right,
that kept you guarded enough to go forth in investigating something more,
right,
about what you were feeling. And you said everything that happened, you kept it away from your loved ones because you knew that you didn't want to feel that level of embarrassment. What was actually happening with those people who were personally close to you that prevented you from taking another look?
Yeah. I would like to ask her, before you got to this point, how did you feel about yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Because and I always say this, the answers to the reasons why we do what we do and we accept what we accept lies in our past, right? So whatever happened in your past, whatever happened in my twin's abuser kept all her family away. See, whatever happens in your past, however traumatic, however mild it may be, does have effect on your present and your future. And so your confidence and your self-esteem didn't just disappear with Legion. It disappeared through somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So the answers that she needs to figure out for herself. Don't lie in Legion. It lies in what had happened before she got to Legion, because that was already in her. It wasn't there when he got there. Those ignoring of signs, what happened in your past relationship that made you the woman that you was presently with Legion, that allowed you to accept it, that allowed you to ignore the sign. Now, here is something else, ladies. And she said this on Tamron Hall. And I mentioned this too. Her biological clock is ticking.
Mm-hmm.
Her biological clock was ticking. Let me tell you something. My God, my biological clock then ticked and tocked and cracked and put itself back together, and it's going back around again. Understand when I say? But I don't care how much my biological clock is ticking and talking. I'm still not selling for less than what I'm worth.
Right.
I'm not doing that. And that's where we make our mistake at. And sometimes you have to understand it's not your time. It's not your time. When you want it to be, God says no. And he knows what he's got for you. Y'all get on the wrong bus, you get on the wrong train, you get on the wrong plane. You get on all that. Heck no, that's a lifetime with someone. You get on the transportation, and you end up in a very detrimental position that is harmful to you. And you need to understand your clock can tick and tock. I don't care. Pace yourself. Check and verify. Check and verify. I'm going to say it again. Check and verify. Next, if you stamp and validate yourself, you won't have to worry about nobody else stamping and validating you. And you say, Renee, what do you mean? Affirm yourself. Say you're amazing. Say you're great. Say you're awesome. Say you're good. You got confidence. I got self-esteem. I got my joy. I got my peace. I got my happiness. You have to stamp. You have to verify yourself. And when you create that affirmation for you, then nobody can take nothing from you. You understand what I'm saying? What happens with us, the words penetrate like water going to a sponge, and we start feeling those things. And then we start believing those things.
In affirming ourselves, I want us to get to a place where we stop just saying I am, and that we understand too. Because after those things have been occurring, I would have said I understand, but I gotta go.
Right.
Because I am great. You know what I'm saying?
And it took another woman to the realtor, Amber, to make her think. Exactly, Felicia. Exactly. And that's sad. And see,
those people were affirming in her, and she still didn't understand.
But she said the first realtor that they fired told her, she said, I need to go back to apologize. A stranger, I need to go back to apologize. But you didn't want to hear the message. You still chose to turn a blinded eye and plug up your ears and not see and not hear. And we all have instincts. So you chose to ignore your instincts, and when you study sleeping with this man and giving him your goods, and he ain't no good.
You keep saying instincts tonight, but I want all of our men and women to understand that women just don't have intuition. We have instincts too. And your mind and your gut working together, that's your instinct. When you flinch as a reflex, that's an instinct. You know, your eyes shifting from one side to the other to protect yourself, that's an instinct. Use it when you feel uncomfortable around a man. Even when you walk up on a man and you're extremely anxious, that's your instinct. Your mind ain't even working yet, but your body telling you what's up. And there were times throughout this series where I was looking at her as if she was still in a state of terror. And I don't know that I could be able to come home to that person all the time, wondering why, you know, my routine is so normal. And I'm wondering about his. You know what I'm saying? How he's moving.
Yeah, but I'm not laying in the bed with nobody. I got to look over and question who you is. Who is you? Do I know you or do I don't? I see you here.
Yeah.
But I asked God for a sign, and the next one I found out he was cheating. See what I'm saying? But you know what?
But
We
you
don't want,
had that feeling before. Sometimes that confirmation was in the feeling that you had because instinctively you know how things feel when the waves change, ebbs and flows happen, the pattern changes.
exactly. Exactly. But the question is, again, I'm gonna ask this question. Why do we choose to ignore the warning signs? What is it within us that we feel like we have to accept all types of behavior that is not becoming of what we deserve? And I keep saying this, and I keep saying this till it resonate deep in our spirit. The Bible says, and this is thus saith the Lord, the man who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. And if you don't ever think you a good thing, baby, you will never be that good thing. But you got to believe it deep down within your shando, down in the between the toenail of your big toe, all the way up to the last hair on the top of your head, that you are that good thing. And
Also says you delicate as a flower, auntie. You precious as rubies.
hello, you hear what I'm
To
saying?
be treasured.
You understand what I'm saying?
And that he will cleave to you.
Hello, hello, hello. My sister would always say their child. You understand what I'm saying? And so what we need to understand. So revelation here. When God put Adam to sleep, right? He took the bone, right? The bone, the rib is the most important piece of the body. Do y'all understand that? The most important piece. You know why? You know what it covers? You know what it protects?
The heart.
The heart. And if that man don't treat you like you the most important piece and you don't feel it, because love is not just a word. I can tell you I love you all day long and don't mean a thing. But if I tell you I love you and I show you and you feel it, you can, that love resonates deep down within your spirit and you don't feel it, it ain't love. It ain't a strong like, maybe a little lust, but it ain't love. I can tell you that. And what got me the disconnect was out of all the times, she never said she was in love with that man.
No.
He
I
never
told
said
you earlier in
he
this
was in love
conversation,
with
I was
her.
wondering where the intimacy was.
He never said it. So why would you sleep with somebody? Why would you give up your goods and create soul ties with somebody that you're not in love with? So it goes back to the purse and the privileges that he was providing.
I don't even think she ever stated, auntie, that she walked through a door and they had embraced each other. You know, he gave me a kiss on my cheek. Nothing like that. It was
Felicia said,
always logistical.
she said, wow, that's so true. They got married and they got married. And then the way he proposed was disrespectful.
Yeah. That was messed up.
And you accepted it. And you married him.
So the two yeses that she got were really the proposal in marriage and purchasing a home.
Yeah. But you know what Maya Angelou used to say? When people show you who they are, believe them. Stop turning a blinded eye and a deaf ear. The signs are there. We choose to ignore them. You know, and the funny thing for us is we won't take stuff off of our jobs. We won't take stuff off of our friends. We won't take stuff off our family members. And we won't even take stuff off our children. But we'll take stuff off somebody who pretending to love us and pretending to like us. Help me to understand. If you need to be respected in a friendship, if you need to be respected in your family, you need to be respected by your kids, you need to be respected in your relationship too. How do you lose the respect in that arena of your life? How do you lose that? I'm not understanding. How you disconnect that? Where and for me, the value, and even when she was on Tamara Hall's show, you know, she was so um timid and she was so
She seemed closed up.
defeated. She was
Mm-hmm.
defeated. She still haven't found herself as of yet, even though, and she's still crushed on the inside, because he broke her.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He broke her with her permission. she gave the permission for him to break her, right? Because, and people might say, well, why do you say that? When you ignore all the warning signs and they're slapping in your face, you're giving people permission to break you.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you're accepting all types of behavior that's coming your way. That's giving people permission to break you. That's how abusers take their control, right? They
Mm-hmm.
start to verbally destroy you with words. They say you ugly. They say you fat. They say you no good. You can't cook. You're not good in bed. Your nose too big. Your eyes too big. Your hair too nappy. So they start being very descriptive to break you down. What they do, they're doing small demolitions in your life, in every area of your life. They are breaking you down. They break this room, that till they break you down completely. And nothing is left on the inside of you. You are crumbs.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem that she's going to have, and that she do some intense therapy, is building herself back up. And as long as this has happened to her, she's still having a battle with building herself. Hey, Renee, just saying, hey, sister, gotta go to bed. Good seeing you, and great topic. All right, enjoy. Um, she's still having that struggle because I can see her on Tamara Hall show. She was still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
She still haven't found herself. She know that she should have cut it off a long time ago, but she still don't get it. Yeah, something is not connecting for her yet. She
And
has.
I believe with all of this flooding in, say for instance, she didn't
Mm-hmm,
intend for this to blow up, and all of these different, comments coming through, whether they be positive or negative, you have to wonder what's bouncing in her mind, and
right.
maybe things that she reflected on, she's now recalling, like, did I actually, think about this at that time? Just conflicting thoughts. And then also just the comments of different people who are affluential in our community, like, we were talking about Charlemagne the God.
Right.
And I think from a different perspective, maybe him just speaking to, having heard the story, not knowing who she is, not ever
Mm-hmm,
seen her before. He
mm-hmm,
said it sounds like that type of behavior. He said it
mm-hmm,
sounds like big back behavior. But
mm-hmm,
other people may have interpreted it that he was really digging on her
mm-hmm,
in that
mm-hmm,
moment, and that she was actually overweight. She mentioned in that show,
mm-hmm,
I'm heavy and I am self-conscious about it still. You were
mm-hmm,
talking about all the things, like, would you ask her how she felt about herself at that moment?
mm-hmm,
Did it really have to do with traumatic experiences that maybe you and I have had,
mm-hmm,
or was it that people in her past have always brought forth, her heaviness or her weight as an issue, and her measure of trauma is through those experiences, you know what I'm saying? In
right.
addition to what happened with Legion, like, um, I think that this helped reopen a wound when maybe
Mm-hmm,
she put this out and produced it
mm-hmm,
to actually shell that away. Because who's to say that she was in therapy or not, and say, hey, I got to throw this to the wind. So let me just put my story out there.
right. But here is where we need to change our perspective.
Mm-hmm.
People opinions are people opinions. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody got a butthole. You understand what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to live my life on your opinion when I know who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
We walk around, we breathe, we live, we lay, we sit, we cry, and we worry about, we weigh heavily on what people opinions are of us. And it goes back to self-validation. So
Yeah.
if you have self-validation, somebody else's opinion of me don't matter. It's not your opinion that matters, my opinion of myself
Mm-hmm.
matters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you say, how you feel. Like I said yesterday, when me and you was talking, I don't have a big butt. I got big boobs. So what? That's the way God made me.
Me.
I'm happy with who I
Mm-hmm.
am. Now, either you're gonna like me for who I am or you're not. Am I gonna lose sleep? No. Am I gonna be upset? No. Am I gonna be
Mm-hmm.
mad? No, because that's your opinion of me. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the
Mm-hmm.
opinion that I have of myself. And
Mm-hmm.
so we need to be strengthening and self validation. So
Mm-hmm.
if we validate ourselves, We won't have to worry about leaning on nobody else's opinion. This is why when men walk away, when you're married to them and you dating to them, the first thing we say, well, what could I do? What did I do? I can do better. I can change. It ain't nothing that you did. You can't do better. They wanted to leave because they wanted to leave it all the time. It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's got something to do with them. But we take on that blame and we take on that ownership. We take
it got something to do with them, and then here they come right back around.
Hello? Hello? Because I done had plenty of boomerang back to me, baby. Boomerang your butt right on back. The door was closed. The boat gone, the plane pulled off, and the car.
We ain't going backwards.
The car don't park back in the same park spot no more. But somebody said here earlier, we have to teach people how to treat us. And what we don't do and what we don't take pride in is teaching people how to treat us, because people can only do what we give them permission to do, right?
Yeah.
So we give them permission in certain areas and aspects of our lives. That's what they're going to do. If you allow a cheater and he or she is a repetitive cheater, then guess what they're going to do? They say, you allowed the first time, let me go and try this again. If you allow a liar and you know they lied and they did the second time and you gave the second time, I gave you first time, I gave you one pass, you don't get two now. Don't try it twice. But if I give you a pass again, then you're giving them permission to continually do it. At what point do we feel that it's important to stop the madness?
And I think that comes down to measuring what your levels of acceptance are, and also having those things that are zero tolerance. Straight up.
Yeah. To thine own self be true. That's what I always say. If you can't be true to yourself, if you can't see the value in you, if you can't see the worth, if you can't see what you bring to the table, guess what? Ain't nobody else going to see it. They're not going to see it. They're not. And a prime example, I accept me dressed up. And I also accept me yesterday when I was torn from the floor up. You understand what I'm
saying? Still beautiful.
And I'm still beautiful in my eyesight. So if somebody say, girl, why you get on that thing last night looking like you was looking, baby, because I always knew I can look better. You see what I'm saying? And we all have a moment, but we're not at our best. But does that make me not be the person that I am? No, I am still me. If I'm torn from the floor up, if I'm cute like I am today, because I am cute today. So I'm still me. You see what I'm saying? So that doesn't take nothing away from the person that I am. And so when we understand whatever position, and I'm gonna say this because I said this to y'all too. I can't be this person with my friends. I can't be this person with my family. I can't be this personality with people at work. I can't be this personality with people that I'm dating. I can't be this personality with people I'm married to. That's 5 different individuals, right? That's called schizophrenia, for real. That's what it is. That's too many personalities. And we spend too much of our time trying to please everybody else instead of pleasing ourselves. That's the most important person you should please is you. And when you take care of you, when you love you, when you affirm you, when you validate you, when you know your worth, when you know your value, when you have your confidence and your self-esteem, nobody be like that tree that's rooted in the ground. The wind may blow, it may rock back and forth, but you rooted. And until we get rooted, we're going to constantly deal with the things that we deal with, like Reesa Teesa dealt with, because we're not rooted in the woman or the man that we need to be for us, because we spend all our time trying to please everybody else.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's the disconnect. And we need to do better at that. So, like I say, this is not today, Reesa Teesa, but it is to open up our eyes to understand it ain't nothing new. It's been happening all the time. There's multiple women who have dealt with this. She was just courageous enough to share her story. Now it's going to make us some money eventually, because somebody going to do a Lifetime movie and a movie out of it. And then once you see it on screen, we're going to get another revelation. You understand what I'm saying? We heard it, but to see it play out, another revelation is going to come again. But we need to work on ourselves, to grow ourselves up, mature ourselves, build ourselves. Baby, when you go through the parking lot, you got to pay. If you don't validate and pay for that ticket before you get out there, that gate ain't coming up. You need to pay for that parking ticket before you get out. And what she did with dealing with Legion, she paid for the parking ticket before she can get out. And it was a steep price to pay. You can pay now, you can pay later. I ain't paying for at all because I no. No.
And I want people to also understand that the impact that you can have season to season as a woman or a male, it could come at any point. You know, you may have had it good for the first 35 years, and then boom, something happened to you like this, like it did Reesa Teesa. We don't know what happened to her before that moment and that encounter, you know, that experience with that person. But understand this is that everything that you go through, it becomes cyclical until you learn that lesson.
Yep.
It might be another pair of pants, same fit.
Exactly.
Different person, same personality, same dig, same intensity until you get it right. And this conversation is more so about being preventative, you know.
It is. And we look at the wrong things. We look at the exterior instead of looking at the interior, right? Oh, he fine. Ooh, he tall. He fine. He smell good. He dress good. Oh, she cute. She is babe. She got a banging body. But they can be fine and she can be cute as she want to be and empty as I don't know what. So we look at the wrong thing. We need to look at the head, the mind, and the heart. And we focus on interior instead of exterior. Now, don't get me wrong. Exterior is good. But you need to see what they're working with here and here. And these are the two areas that we miss. If they mind ain't right, they ain't right. If they heart ain't right, they ain't right. And baby, let me tell you something. You need to go talk to mamas, ex-girlfriends. You need to get doctor records. And sometimes you need criminal records. You need to take them to the doctor and make sure they was born the person or the gender they say they was born in and everything else. It ain't no joke. This is real.
Yeah.
This is real. People make themselves be what they want. Y'all know how it works when you're in your relationship, you role play. So your mate say, I want you to be a maid. Okay, baby, let me give me a maid outfit. Or I want you to be a cop and arrest me. So you people role play all the time. But people role play in real life, pretending to be something that they not. And we're so impressed by what people say and what they do. I can take myself to dinner, right? I can pay my own bills, right? It's nice to have somebody help you with some things, but I'm not just looking for that. What are you looking for in relationship? Where's your head at? What do you see yourself in 2? I'm not going to say 5. What do you see yourself in 2 years? What do you want out this relationship? What are you looking for? Do you want kids? What is your credit like? What is your finances like? Where do you work at? What do you do? I need to meet some people. I need to see some people, so I can understand who you are as an individual. And when a person don't take you around nobody, it's a question. It's a problem. Either that person is already hooked up and they got somebody already taken around because they legalized to them, or they ain't the person who they say they are. And if they take you around these individuals, then the truth shall be revealed. It's like you women picking up these men, cleaning them up. They ain't got a job. And then they tell you when you get them and you take them into your home, I don't want a job. They tell you this. And you think by you doing what you're doing for this going to change them. No, they are who they are. When you pick them, they tell you something, believe it. When a person say they won't have no kids, believe it. That's true. Babies are not the glue. It's not. And if she would have had that baby, the relationship would have been just as detrimental. And it probably would be worse. See, this is how God works. He allowed the pregnancy to terminate because he already knew what the situation was, right? He didn't need the child. So God intervened and did not let that baby be born. Because that baby was born in a web of lies.
You have a divine design over your life. And trust me, when that thing happened, that was her time to say, oh, time to go.
Yep. That baby was meant to be born. So God let that baby have to go to termination because that would have been an extra weight that she would not have been able to handle or deal with. She's already struggling with the choices that she made. She's already struggling that she allowed this man into her personal space. She's already struggling of giving up herself to this person, and he wasn't who she thought he was.
Right.
Now, couple that with a baby. That'll crack her mind. sent
Mm-hmm.
to a mental institution. Even though I could understand when she said she went to school for psychology, that blew me.
I'm wondering if, he was really her ideal package, but people have to understand sometimes those packages that are divine, that are sent to you for your good, they show up looking like nothing that you've ever seen before. She was just so magnetic with him, supposedly.
Yeah, but the box, it's like a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
I can wrap up a box and make the outside of the box look pretty, put a bow on it, but I can have a muddy boot on the inside. You
We
don't
got
know
to be
that.
careful.
Exactly. It's like the Cracker Jack box. There's a surprise in the bottom of the Cracker Jack box. So what you got was a Cracker Jack box, and you got the surprise. And it wasn't the surprise that you want. You thought you had a knight in shining armor, and he wasn't that. He was a hellion. And that's, you know how she called him Legion? Because Legion is Satan.
Uh-huh. And often we overlook those packages that come right for us that might not be that preferred outer exterior.
Now, here's something else nobody probably thought about neither. You just met this man, you didn't know him, you moved in your house. He could have been all kinds of things. You don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Know that. And you went to sleep with this man. You didn't know him long enough to allow him in your personal space. And we need to stop doing that. We need to stop doing
Mm-hmm.
it. But next, you didn't know what kind of packages he was bringing to you. He could have had an HIV or STD. You don't know none of that. Y'all having unprotected sex with somebody that you hardly even knew. And we never take in consideration of unwanted packages. And all of the packages that you get, baby, you cannot give it thee back. They stay with you till Jesus return. You can't give it thee back. So I'm saying, stop opening your legs so freely. Make somebody work for you. Like the Aldi stock up store. I don't understand. I don't
And
understand.
to find out all this stuff, don't open up your legs to hardly nobody, because those spirits transfer, baby.
Hello. And you know what? And when she finally called the wife, and the wife told her, if you calling me, it's got to be bad.
Mm-hmm. She connected herself to him in the past.
Yeah,
She probably still dealing with that too.
exactly.
After having freed herself, why did I connect myself with such trash?
I'm not understanding. And I hope and I pray that we get to a place of a solid foundation.
Yeah.
That we recognize the woman that we are, that we appreciate the values that we possess, and we understand that our voice is important and we are just as important as our voice is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Represent yourself in that fashion, and not settle for less than. Never settle for less. I don't care what you look like, and fake it till you make it. You understand what I'm saying? If you got to talk to yourself 30 times a day, say, we ain't falling for that, we ain't falling for that. Ain't nothing wrong. You got to do what you got to do to make sure you don't fall for the okie doke. That's it. And then find you people that's like-minded that can encourage you and motivate you to be a better version of yourself. And then first thing you do is pray and ask God to help you. And ask him to lead and guide you and help you to choose better. Help you to have a spirit of discernment and not ignore the warning signs. You can't keep running the red light before you get a ticket. And a lot of y'all is still running the red light, and the caution sign is blanking hard. So
and while you talking to yourself, unlike Reesa Teesa, talk to someone else that can help you rationalize
exactly
what it is that you're going through, because you need to get radical in those situations with setting your foundation and never upholding your own standards and principle. A lot of times we go into things knowing what we do and do not accept on a regular basis, but make exceptions.
But the person she should have talked to was her mother, and she didn't. So it made me wonder, what was the relationship like that she didn't feel she can talk to her mother? Because most daughters, I don't care what it is, relationship is good. I'm calling my mama because something ain't right. Maybe
I sure do.
I'm calling my mama. But she never said that she called her mama. She said her mama was a praying woman. But her mama, if she had the connection with her child that she had, her mama never called her and said, baby, what's going on with you?
Because I feel something different. You acting different.
Exactly. So
You ain't called me. So
all these warning signs, all these alerts, all these notification is not the electricity is not going from one end to another. Because
Mhm.
when you used to lie to your mama, um, and you say I didn't do that, mama say yes you did, and you be like, how she know? Don't I know you did it? You understand what I'm saying? Because mamas have that connection with their children when that bond is good. So it
Mhm.
makes me wonder if the bond between her and her mother was as strong as it should have been, or did she? The only bond that she really had was with her friend.
But the only thing that I could get from it is that she kept saying that she had doubt and was scared of embarrassing herself amongst others. She was scared of failure. And if she did have a tight bond with her mom, trying to make a parent proud that you've made the right decision after they've taught you and conditioned you and pressed you and molded you, especially to be a woman of prayer, dignity, virtue. You know what I'm saying? To hear all of these things, I think that might have been something she was afraid of being dismantled in her mom's mind about what it is that she would actually accept. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but a mother who loves her is gonna love you irregardless of the circumstance of the situation.
Right. But in our community, regardless of the bond, sometimes we, just like in regular conversation, we leave out 5% of non-communicative things. So with a parent that might be a little bit more challenging to relate something to, that is not within their standard, you know what I mean? You could have a
Yeah,
mom, but you leave stuff out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but most parents pick up on your stuff anyway. They can tell you ain't got to tell them. They know when you had sex and when you ain't had sex. You might not say, "Mama, I'm screwing," but she gonna know. See, you her
Right.
child. Your
Yeah.
demeanor, your aura changes.
You
All that.
still got those kids though. I remember being, and yeah, I wasn't as old as Reesa, but as a teenager, my mama had already put into me, come to me with an open door, and I still rebelled. I had no real big issues with her, but
Right.
I still rebelled and
You
kept
had
it
the
from
issue
her.
with yourself.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and maybe with the external people. So I'm like still wondering where was the maturation in Reesa? Because at that point she was already 36.
Right. But there should have been somebody when she mentioned her auntie. There should have been somebody she can talk to. Yesterday on her mom's side, there's
Mm-hmm.
always somebody that's cool enough for you to talk to. You didn't feel the need to talk to nobody except for your friend. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You never felt the need to talk to anybody. That's strange to me.
And even the auntie asked her, "You
Right.
married?"
Right. And you didn't share. Nobody came to the wedding. It was just you and a stranger as a witness. So y'all went to City Hall and got married.
And that auntie niece relationship is
It's
something
deep.
else.
I'm telling you. It's deeper than mama and daughter relationships.
Because you got more freedom and
Exactly.
friendship.
Exactly. So for her not to tell her aunt, it left me questioning, you know, did you really know from the get-go that it was something that you should not have done?
I think it was because she just kept projecting. I was embarrassed. I was scared to fail. And all these things started going on. But he done already humiliated you.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
when you were sitting up there for hours at that hospital, you had to tell somebody and they
Mm-hmm.
had to ask where he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of signs um that was very much so ignored. But I pray and I hope, like I said, that Reesa Teesa's story, where you looked at it or not, I know you heard about it. I know you heard the conversation. Is something that we as women need to take a good look at, because some of us have married people we should have ran from.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are in relationship that we should get up and pack our bags and leave tonight. You understand what I'm saying? And it's in not just in relationships, it's in friendships, it's in family relationships, it's in whatever it may be. If that's not a healthy bond for you, you need to walk away from it and be okay with that. Why would you live your life of misery and being uncomfortable in something that's not? Because she never said she was happy. She never said she was happy. Never. And she never looked like she was ever happy at all.
I don't think that was unintentional either. You know what I'm saying? Um, After having gone through that period and just dwelled in what was actually happening, telling that story, I believe she made it obvious for us that she wasn't happy.
Yeah, but you know what?
You know what I'm saying? For a
Yeah,
reason.
yeah,
To make that impact on us so we would change the way that we walk.
yeah. And she said, if I could just make a difference in one person's life, it would do me just. But let me tell you something. When she said that man left me in the hospital, baby, I said that bastard left me in the hospital. But she was so cool, calm.
I was wondering the whole time, you gonna get mad?
And collective through part 4 of Who the F Did I Marry? Part 5 of Who the F Did I Marry? Part 6 of Who the F Did I Marry? Part 7 of Who the F. And she never ever.
She didn't throw not one F-bomb, auntie, until she got to that part where she was like, who the F is there at my door? I gotta get up out of this pedicure chair, out of the salon. Oh, right. And I asked him, who
right. And
was
he lied. And he lied. And you still stayed. You still stayed. She did get a little upset. She said she got angry when she gathered all her information. She found out about 2 Social Security cards, and he had hurt his leg, and she put him out. The only time she showed some emotions. I needed you to get the F out. And I'm looking at his face, and I'm telling him, he knew I meant business. No, he didn't know you meant business because you ain't never meant business. So
she wasn't mad enough because I would have kicked his butt bone ass after all that.
Baby, I would have came in there with a butcher knife. I would have told him, you got 2 seconds to get your shit and get up out of here. And don't look back. If you don't get out of here in 2 seconds, I promise I'm going to cut you like I chop up chicken.
You got that color purple knife.
Even Whoopi got mad at color purple. She said, did I ask you for anything? I didn't ask you for your sorry ass head in there. He got mad.
Oh, I was scared.
And Angela Bassett got mad. What was that? A way text here. She got mad and burnt up all his stuff.
After watching that second Color Purple, man, Celie show changed Mr.'s ways with that experience.
Baby, let me tell you. You know what Reesa Teesa remind me of? Remember Squeak in the movie Color Purple? She said, I go on with you. I fit to be a singer.
I was so glad they had her in the second one because I was like, baby, please convince me that Squeak could sing.
But it also took me back. Remember the movie Sleeping with the Enemy?
Yes.
There you go. Because she was sleeping with the enemy, baby. She wasn't sleeping with a friend. She was sleeping with the enemy.
Oh, my gosh.
And she gave her cookies up to the enemy, too. She gave the cookies up to the enemy. And I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm telling y'all.
Woman thou loose. You
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you touch her?
Yeah.
Did you touch my daughter? She took too much.
Right.
Oh, how you got Uncle Daddy living in the house?
Right. Hello? We need to exercise the power of our no, for real. We have a no for a reason. We have a no for a reason, and we need to use that no. And what we don't do is use that power of that no. That power of that no has its purpose and its place. And everything you don't have to say yes to, and everything you have to agree with, you don't have to agree with. That's in all areas of your life. In times that we should speak up, we don't. And at times we should be quiet, that's when we speak up. We need to speak up when we need to speak up. When we don't, we need to keep our top lip to the bottom line. It's just it's too much. I saw another young lady who agreed with Reesa Teesa's story. She was on YouTube and she was talking about, well, I'm not hiding no name. His name is this and his name is that. But she didn't. I'm like, girl, have several seats. Have several seats. You wasn't bold enough to tell your story until she told hers.
It's so many of them coming out. I just watched one that was 30 parts on TikTok about a trucker, and she said that she had put her story out maybe over a year ago on YouTube, so she wanted to bring it to TikTok. She made over $40,000 on that man and was still falling out about him.
Yeah.
And she is near 60.
Yeah. We don't have the power to disconnect. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have walk away itis. We don't have the strength to say, okay, this what it was. Now I need to go on with my life, right? And so when things happen, we have to learn how to disconnect, get the lessons we need to get from it, and then move on. That's it. But we don't know how to get the lessons that we need to get and then move on. We go through this analyzation. What did I do? What could I have done better? How could I make the relationship better? Could I save my marriage? Could I have saved this relationship? Could I save this friendship? Could I save this familyship? And sometimes it's nothing you can do because it takes two people to make a relationship. You can't do the relationship by yourself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes two people to meet in the middle. Y'all come together for a common cause, right? Y'all sit down, y'all have proper conversation. Do's, don'ts, your wills and won't, your what you will accept, what you won't accept, your expectations. You doing your boundaries. Now, either y'all come to a consensus, you're gonna agree on these things, you're gonna work this what you're working towards, your goals, your vision, your dream, or you not. If it don't work out, it's not that working, go your separate ways. The door open and close both ways, baby.
Yes.
You ain't got to stay. Not to save face, because in the end, your face is still going to be broke because they're going to find out you've been living with this person in hell for the last year, or this person has used you, abused you, and all this stuff. So your face is still going to be broke. So Reesa Teesa, when she did all this to try not to be embarrassed, you end up being that way anyway. You feel like you don't want to be blamed, you end up being blamed anyway. You feel like you didn't want the guilt, you end up wearing the guilt anyway. So you might as well do it sooner versus later.
And at that point, I can say from my standpoint now, I don't really give a darn what most people have to say. It's a lot of things that I don't find validation from people in anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like there are a select few people that I trust their judgment in my life, and I go to them to be a sounding board, or that they garner what I need in the times of despair. And I want the truth. But as far as how I move, often I don't give a darn what you got to do with this or what you think. Like, come on now.
Let me break it down so everybody understand. They ain't paying rent, mortgage, car note, car insurance, cell phone bill, light, gas. They ain't paying your medical insurance. They ain't paying your life insurance. They ain't buying your groceries. They ain't taking to the hospital. They ain't filling up your cabinet. They ain't doing none of that. So they shouldn't matter. They shouldn't matter. We give people a place and position in our lives that don't need place and position. They just don't. So you need to know how to properly place people in your life. And everybody don't deserve place and position in your life. And if they're not provided constructive and criticism, keep it to yourself. Something we should throw in file 13, and file 13 is the trash for me. Some things I'll keep and some things I'll discard. Now I'm good at, I got cut off itis. Don't take me that long to cut you off. You show me who you are, and you show me this is not something that you want, baby, I'll cut you off and cut you at the same time. You won't even feel the bleed, but you'll know you've been cut.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And we have to and it's all about protection of yourself. You got to protect yourself. God ain't allow us to see all these signs for nothing. He's not allowing us to experience all these situations for nothing. These situations, what we experience, these situations, these scenarios, these conversations that we're having for a reason. because time out. We've been giving these men too much. We give them too much for free. We ain't making them work for nothing. We just got our heart on our hand, and wherever somebody come by, we just give it away, give our heart away, and they don't even earn nothing. They don't even work for nothing. We just give it away. Hint, and then we look at people on social media and reality stars. We think that's a life to live, and it's not. You have to have self-respect for yourself. Nick Cannon got 30,000 baby mamas, and people gloat about that. There ain't nothing to gloat about.
Right.
It's not. You got babies everywhere, and ain't no way in the hell you could be a proper father with babies scattered everywhere. And then we having babies for these men, and we're letting them live on us and thinking that's going to make for great relationships and long-lasting relationships. No, people going to use you till they can't use you no more for benefits, for perks, and for privileges. That's what he did. Why he did what he did. He needed a place to lay his head because he didn't have no place to lay his head. He didn't. And she was an easy target, clearly. And he got a win-win. That's why he did what he did. And he baited for as long as he could bait until she found out.
The level that he baited at, to find out that he was asking all of this money from all these different people. I don't even know how he kept up with the bills, their eating habits, trinkets, all of that.
Keep it real.
Was he just getting this money, or was he robbing Peter to pay Paul? Like,
hello? He was doing something. And then she's like, oh, I found out he did all this on Google. Baby, you can do all kinds of things on Google. You shocked?
Mm-hmm.
We're in 2024. You can do a bunch. You can be whoever you want to be. People steal people's identity all the time.
He turned around and you allowed him to show you his finances over a screenshot, and you accepted it.
Yeah, he showed it to me. That's what she said. He showed it to me. I can show you a check that I can for $10,000. Don't mean I can have a check for $10,000. You see what I'm saying? I can show you a whole bunch of things. Don't mean it's real. He showed. Oh, and then I found out he wasn't talking to nobody. Haven't you been in the car talking to somebody? You can hear people talking through the phone.
You can hear them just as murmured.
Exactly. And when they start laughing, you can hear the laughter. But who is you talking to? They showed this loud. You ain't never heard a voice. Not now time.
And his phone just cold, Auntie. Now, I hate to laugh, but I love to laugh.
you ain't. Then he had FaceTime. You FaceTiming. Y'all ain't never, because most family members, they FaceTime.
He didn't have nobody to place in his company. He didn't have nobody to hire.
You never met Dave, the assistant? Dave never had to come to the house and drop some papers off for his boss?
Dave worked for Fiverr.
Where was the assistant? Where was the sister? Where she lived at?
Huh? He didn't never show you no reports.
Girl, and then the boy had a twin.
Right.
And the twin, he was using the twin life as his life.
Yeah.
And then lied about the baby being born. It was a boy.
He got a whole lot of things going on.
He needs to be checked into the nearest psychiatric ward because he got a lot of people that's living inside his head. And they all playing tug of war.
He worse than Lupin and Leonardo DiCaprio on Catch Me If You Can.
Baby, let me tell you. Even Forrest Gump had better sense than Legion did. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I don't understand. I just don't understand whatsoever.
Forrest Gump, he from Greenbow, Alabama.
Right. Yeah.
Woo.
Forrest would have told her, run, Reesa Teesa, run.
No, Jenny. I'm crying, but I still want to know, you rolling over every day, you know, at that level, you'd have somebody who might want to go work out as soon as they go get up, somebody who gonna be dressed to the nines or in some nice cologne. I'm wondering what he explained this place of work to be. And did he roll over with some sweatpants and say, all right, I took a shower last night.
Right.
Let me put on this little dicky pair of pants and a hoodie right quick.
Right.
I'll see you later. I'm the VP.
No briefcase, no laptop, no nothing. Nothing. That a VP would carry home with them. No briefcase, no laptop, no nothing whatsoever.
And he just gave you the money to pay the bills.
And in quarantine, that's when he should have had Zoom meetings the most, because you wasn't in the office.
Right, because they wasn't going to stop business.
Nope.
It wasn't going to be no resumption plan.
But you never said that he was sitting at the kitchen table. Oh, he was on Zoom meetings, because he wasn't a VP, baby, of a condiment company. What was it? A Heinz? Was he working for the ketchup company? Was he working for the mustard? Mustard company? Was he working for the pickle company?
He was at French's. Was he the VP of development or manufacturing? What was it? VP of operations?
Girl, he was VP. He's the VP of get the hell out of here. I got you. Joke on you. That's what he's the VP of. I got you. Joke on you. I promise you. Joke is on you.
He was the VP of supply chain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was supplying and pulling your chain. I pray she heal. I pray she healed though, because she got a long road ahead. She's got a long road ahead. It's just like a person who is in an abusive relationship. It takes them a while before they find themselves and get their confidence and their self-esteem back.
Yeah.
And I do pray that, that she gets it back. And for the person call me a moron,
count your days.
I am not. And I hope you watch this live to know that I am not. I was not bashing Reesa Teesa. I would never bash her because, it's her experience. It's hers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on it, but I have I'm cutting you off and I'm asking questions. My son's father, he ride in the car, and when he get in the car, he had a phone in his hand. But when he sit down, he turned the phone down on his face and put it up under the seat.
Mm.
And I said to him, I said, what the hell you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I said, why you had the phone in your hand? Why you turn down and put up on your seat? Oh, I was just, no, you ain't. What you had? I ain't had no day you go. I said, boy, don't deflect. Don't deflect. I ain't her. I ain't her. So you try to be 10 cents slick. That's what you're trying to be. But you playing the right one, boo. I'm the right one, baby. I promise you I am.
Because everything you do will come to the light. Ain't no chasing and trying to find it.
You ain't got to seek. It's going to come to you. It's definitely going to come to you. You ain't got to seek and find. It's going to come to you. I promise you it do. But, some of them ain't as bright as they pretend to be, like I said, but we choose to ignore the signs that's before us. And people can walk up to us and tell us, and we still don't have to believe it. My mama said you can either buy and pay for a lesson or you can learn the easy way. We like to go the hard way and buy and pay for the lesson. And Reesa Teesa paid for her lesson all the way.
Yeah.
From series 1 to always to series 52. I stopped at 43 because I had enough. But she bought and paid for that lesson. And all we're saying is tonight, open your eyes. Pay attention to the warning sign and the notifications. They are there for a reason. Love yourself more than somebody love you. I promise you. And if you know how to love yourself and pay attention to stuff and be good to you, self-love is important. It's so important. Then you won't have these problems. You won't. Now, I ain't going to say they ain't going to rise up, because they will. But you don't have to walk through the quicksand either. It sink and sink and sink. And then watch your head going up under the quicksand like you drowning in misery. Because it just don't make no sense to me. So I hope that we got some out this conversation tonight. Cause
how you feeling, Auntie?
I feel good. I still got the Lord. I got to get me a laptop. Mm, mm, mm. I need a laptop. Jesus, I need funds.
I know that's real.
I need some money. I can't believe my laptop turned blue. I just can't believe it. Right before we went through all that stuff testing yesterday, I was so excited. I was going to be able to attach TikTok into the screen. I was like, yeah, we done figured out. Just remember, okay, turn it to landscape and then do it this way and pull the screen out and blah, blah, blah. And then I get over here and this doggone screen is blue.
And my auntie was working hard, y'all. So we appreciate y'all being patient with
Babe,
us logging in and, you know,
I was trying hard.
giving us grace and mercy.
Yeah, because I put this good beat on for y'all because I look like a hot mess earlier. Let me tell you.
And she is beat to the gods.
Hello, be to the gods. I want y'all to know something. So I want you to understand. I'm gonna repeat this again. Age is not a factor. Not like you think it is. I'm 63. Understand what I'm saying? And if I'm not gonna tolerate it at 63 and Robyn not gonna tolerate it at 33, you shouldn't tolerate it neither. You ask and you shall receive.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
understand?
know that your refining period is shining for you, though. You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes through being played and being the fool. And I believe in our Uncle Johnny Taylor.
Yeah.
They be running out of lies. So
Okay. Some things you got to wait on, for real. You got to wait on God to send it to you. You got to wait on God to send it to you. See, God said yes, no, and wait a while. The problem that we have is to wait a while, right? And then we take things in our own hands, which Reesa Teesa did. She took her choices in her hand instead of letting God lead her in the direction she needed to go. If she'd have left it to God, she wouldn't have been in this situation. A lot of us are in situations because we took the steering wheel that God guides us through. So anytime you take God out the situation, scenario, and the equation, you mess it up every time. You mess it up. And for that part, you have to take ownership to it because that's your accountability, right? The problem is, again, we don't want to wait. We don't want to wait. And wait is not a bad thing. It's not just about waiting for the person. Sometimes you're not ready. It's all about preparation. We don't know how to be in a relationship. We don't know how to communicate properly. You understand what I'm saying? So there are some things that we have to learn and figure out for ourselves so God can get us ready to be in those positions. That's what that's about. So don't be anxious for nothing because every time you anxious for something, you mess it up. And anything that comes to you too quick and anything that's too good, usually it is. Understand what I'm saying? I'd rather go through, fall down, get back up, dust myself off, try it again. I learned the lessons, I move on. Take the blame, take the guilt off yourself because we all make mistakes. I made them, Robyn made them. We all make mistakes. We are not our mistakes. With the life lessons lived and learned, learn from the mistake and move on. But don't keep beating yourself up. Don't keep imprisoning yourself. Don't keep boxing yourself in for decisions and choices that you made, right? We make bad choices. We make decisions. It's for to grow us. It's for us to move forward. It's for us to open up our eyes and see things differently and be a better version of ourselves than we were yesterday. You're not the same person when you're in your 20s. You're not the same person when you're in your 30s. You're not going to be the same person when you're 40 and you're 50. If you stay the same, something is wrong with you. You ain't got no growth. Something is wrong. But every aspect of your life is a learning lesson. Take the lesson, grow from it, and move on. And take the guilt off of your back. And I pray that Reesa Teesa actually take the guilt off her back because right now she's wearing guilt, she's wearing blame, and she's wearing shame. And she's wearing it like a coat of armor. And it's not her fault. It's not her fault. It's her fault for staying in the situation as long as she did and ignoring the warning signs, right? But when we want things that make us do crazy things, when we love people, we do crazy things for people we love. And everybody has to get to rock bottom. Like an alcoholic has to get to a point that they want help. A drug addict have to get to a point that they want help. A cheater has to get to a point where they want help. but they have to make that conscious decision and conscious effort to want the help. You can offer it all day long, but if they're not ready for it, I don't care what you do, they're not going to be ready. And stop enabling people in their mess. You got people in your family, you got people in your friend circle, people that you work with, people you're laying next to, you know they wrong, tell their asses they wrong, and call it. We get on, we talk about everybody else except for the things that's in our immediate circle. Call the car. Call it. Stop ignoring. They lying, tell them you lying. I know you lying. You cheat, tell them I know you cheat. You need to stop it. And if you're going to cheat, don't get married. You can't be faithful and true. Don't get married. Stop playing Russian roulette with people's heart. That's wrong on so many levels. Stop doing that. Don't do nothing to nobody you will not want done to you. And men, understand that woman is somebody's daughter, somebody's niece, somebody's sister, somebody's cousin. They belong. And don't do nothing to nobody, another woman you want nobody to do to your daughter, because reaping and sowing is real, what y'all need to understand. And God is getting you back quicker than you put it out now. And be careful when you point your finger at somebody else, because multiple fingers are pointing back at you. None of us is perfect. We can't put nobody on a pedestal. We all fell short. And don't say nothing about it, because you know what? Y'all talk about her. Y'all got some great old fornicators out here. So you ain't no better than nobody else. And some of y'all still lying about the baby daddies and baby mamas. So let's cut the crap. Let's call it what it is. And I tell y'all all the time, if y'all don't like the truth, you don't like honesty, then don't come on this platform, because what you going to get the real and the raw. That's all I got to give. I ain't sugarcoat nothing. I'm not sugarcoat nothing. And so again, I pray that this conversation was very impactful. I pray that it makes a world of difference in your life. I pray it shine a light on some things, and I pray it helps you to cut loose some things and release some things and take some weight off of your back. I pray it do that. I really do. I still love y'all though. I still love y'all. Oh man, I'm still bummed about my laptop. I need a laptop. I need a laptop.
It'll be replaced in no time.
Yeah, I'm praying so. Because all my stuff is stuck in there and I need to figure out how to get it out. It's always something. It's always something. But you know what? I'm going to make it better tonight. If y'all know what I'm going to do, I'm going to give me some ice cream. Yeah.
Can you send me a scoop, please?
I surely will. But let me tell y'all, tomorrow, she's not beating the face. That was only for this live stream tonight. I'm not beating my face tomorrow. Y'all get all natural tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh no, I won't be on tomorrow. It's back to the basics. You know, the work-life balance is back on for tomorrow. So I won't be on tomorrow. I want to see y'all. Oh shoot! Oh god, dog, I broke it. Shoot, everything just messing up over here. I won't see y'all until next Sunday at 9:00. But I'll try to post as much as possible. But I want y'all to know, y'all give Robyn, I know y'all can't see on TikTok, but send some hearts up for Robyn.
Oh, thank you, Auntie.
Pineapple Grenade by Robyn.com. Check her out. Y'all on here, make sure y'all check out, support, and everything.
And follow me on TikTok and Instagram.
On Instagram.
YouTube.
We're gonna be doing a lot of little conversations about different things because it's needed. It's needed. It's very much so needed. We hide in things and we don't want to address them, but it's time for us to come out of hiding, because you don't know who the topic is going to help. You don't know how it's going to be an impact, how it's going to make a world of difference. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I really do. I really do. Yeah.
And I appreciate you, Auntie, allowing me to be on tonight and just share, because, you know, I'm so grateful for the gift of wisdom and love that you give to me, even outside these conversations. And, you know, something that struck well with me tonight is like, once you get a little bit older, you done gone through some things. The old folks always say, just live a little longer.
I'm telling you.
Because it's some things that you let go of, you know, some some things that you're no longer attached to, and it don't mean a world of difference like it did before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful
Mm-hmm.
for you sharing those examples
Yeah.
of always choosing yourself.
Always. Always choose yourself. Even when nobody's want to choose you, choose yourself. Like I said, to thine own self be true. I preach that at work all the time because I run across girls who have a low self-esteem. Somebody has snatched it somewhere down the line, and we need to snatch it back. Because when I tell you God don't make no junk in women, he didn't make no junk. When he made you for a specific reason. You have a special gift that resides within you. You just have to figure out what that is. You have to know that you are that person. And whatever table you sit at, you got to know that you were being sitting at that table. Never sell yourself short. If nobody invests in you, invest in yourself. If nobody appreciates you, appreciate yourself. Nobody love you, the first thing you do is love yourself. To thine own self be true. Make yourself happy all the time. And I'm not saying that you're not going to have bad days. I'm not saying that you're not going to struggle. I'm not saying that you're not going to go through some things. But have your day, have your moment, and then move on with life. Because what we need to understand, life is too short not to live it. And life is too short to get to a certain point in your life that you live with regret, right? Because once you pass it, you can't go back and say, I woulda, wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda. Do it. If God has given you something to do, get it done. I push Robyn all the time. She getting so much better. You understand what I'm saying? She getting much better. Make her presence known. You understand what I'm saying? She's got a great gift. She's got a
Thank
great
you.
gift. A great gift. She got some skills I ain't got. You understand what I'm saying? So now I can talk, but she got some skills I ain't got. But
Thank you, T.
everybody's cup is different, right? So when you was born, God gave everybody something that's uniquely designed for you. And when he gave you, you push me too. I do, Dana, and I'm gonna push you too. You next.
That's my auntie now.
When God give you that gift, when he give you that gift, you need to use. And even your experiences. I want y'all to understand it's really good. Even your experience, whether they're bad or whether they're good. If they're bad experiences, he'll allow you to go through them because you was the vessel that was strong enough to handle it. It's not meant to break you down, but those experiences meant to build you up. And it's also providing somebody with strength who's standing in the corner, who's watching you, that you don't even know that they're watching. They haven't got to the point, but God knows they standing in that corner. So he allowed you to go through the things that you go through so you can feed somebody else. It's a domino effect, right?
Yes,
Whether
ma'am.
you want to realize it or not, it's a domino effect. So everything we deal with, everything we experience has its purpose. It's not to break us down. But in order for the building to stand on a solid foundation, you got to create the solid foundation, right? You got to test the soil out to make sure the ground is good enough to pour the concrete, for the frame, for the solid foundation. And only then, when God tests your soil, that he know that your foundation is solid, that he can build on it and build up, right? So that's how he works. But the problem with us, we don't want to go through. I don't want to go through neither. And I'd have been through hell and back. Understand me? We don't want to go through. But in going through, that's how God get the best out of us. We got the example of dropping the lemons in the pitchers of water. You can drop the lemons in a pitcher of water. That don't mean nothing. So what God do is take the lemons and cut you. And then he squeezes you and he get all the good juices and berries out. And then the pulp come out and then a couple of seeds. And then you throw some sugar in there and a couple of ice cubes, baby. You got you a good old pitcher of cold lemonade. You know what I'm saying? But the cut is what we don't like. We don't like the cut. We don't like the cut, and neither do we like the squeeze. So the next time you're going through, and next time the roller coaster ride get a little rough, just know God is working for your good. That's it. He's working for your good. Don't doubt it. Whatever you're going through, whatever situation, whatever pain you feel, whatever uneasiness, whatever struggles, and I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me with this laptop over here.
All things are working for your good.
All things are working for your good. You understand what I'm saying? And if some of y'all would look back, just look back a little bit over your life, you will see where you are today, where you was. And if you look back really deep, you're not what you used to be. You're not what you
And I
used to
think
be.
Reesa Teesa is living that right now because she thought
Exactly.
it was all over with, baby.
And you're not what you used to be, and you are not your mistake. And sometimes to get to God's best, you got to go through. I keep saying you got to go through to get to. Reesa Teesa gonna get through too.
Mm-hmm.
But this is her season. This is her season. And we all got season. How do you create a solid foundation? How do you create a solid foundation is getting to know who you are, affirming who you are, appreciate who you are, loving who you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. See, we don't want to look at the flaws in us. We don't want to look at the flaws. We want to look at perfection. But we're not perfect. Only God is perfect, right? So we focus on the flaws instead of focusing on the good. We put too much weight on the bad stuff instead of putting the most weight on the good stuff, right? And if you look in the mirror 10 times out the day, every time you look, you're going to see something that's wrong. And every time we see something wrong, we take the hammer, we beat ourselves up more. This is wrong. I beat myself more. That's wrong. I beat myself. Stop beating yourself. Change your bags. Take the negative bags and replace them with some positive. You got to take one negative and put it with two positive. You keep repeating them positive till the negative disappear. It's like driving a car. Look through the rearview mirror. The more you appreciate you, the more you love you, the more you validate you, the more you drive forward, that stuff in your rearview mirror going to get smaller and smaller, and eventually it's going to disappear. And that's how you create a solid foundation. But you got to be intentional in doing that for you. Got it, lucky lady? Got to be intentional. Everything has to be intentional. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's not. But loving not part of you, but loving all of you makes the world of difference. You got to love all of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And every day you look at yourself, there's going to be some days that you ain't going to like. Like yesterday, I didn't like how I look. I told Robyn, I look a mess. Didn't I tell you that yesterday? I said, I look
That
a
was her
mess.
beautification moment.
You know what I'm saying? I look a hot mess. And nobody had to tell me. I told it to myself. But if somebody would have got on there yesterday and said, Miss Renee, you look toe up for the floor. I said, I sure do. I would agree with you. And my feelings would not have been hurt. I would have been okay with that. Right? Because I know who I am.
Yeah.
I know who I got the solid foundation. I do. Now today I look swift, honey. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Honey, yes.
that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, lucky lady. That's how you create the solid foundation. Let's take off the negative and let's pour into the positive. And if you got the right sticky notes all around your house to reassure you of that fact, then that's what you got to do. And if you start talking to yourself and pouring into yourself, see, we wait for other people to pour into us instead of pouring into ourselves. If you start pouring to yourself every day, eventually when you go to sleep, your subconscious is going to do the favor for you. It's going to pour into you.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to do that every day, no matter what you look like. People say you look ugly, that's what you say. But that's not how I see myself. Stop walking around with people's thoughts of who you are when you know whose you are. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. So people told me you black. I said black, baby, dark chocolate is good for you. Ask the doctors.
Hey,
Doctor, the healthier, the better it is for you. But you
blacker the berry, the sweeter the
sweeter the
juice.
juice. You hear what I'm
And
saying?
it keep your blood pressure down.
Hello? You hear what I'm saying? But if you don't love you, nobody else will love you. Nobody else will ever love you like you need to love yourself. That's all I'm saying. They would never love you like you need to love yourself. That's it. And people use that to tear you down, and you can't give them that opportunity. You can't crack the door, crack the window, pull the shades, or draw the curtains and allow them to do that. You take what people say with a grain of salt and you move on. And you don't let those words have impact in your life, because somebody gonna always have something to say. If you are the best looking person in the world, if you have a Pepsi Cola bottle shape, your booty is bow, your breast is perfect, and your facial features is on point, and you have pretty eyes and nice complexion of skin, somebody gonna still find something wrong with you. I promise you. No matter what you do, it's always gonna be something wrong. It's gonna be your talk, the way you walk. Somebody got something to say. That's it. So you can't worry about it. Solid foundation. Get your roots rooted in the ground. Wrap it around the rock. And hold on. And Jesus Christ is your solid foundation. So get rooted, baby. Get rooted. Can I join you? I'm about to get off, Stella. I'm about to get off. I've been on here a minute. But I'm about to get off. You can join. I'm gonna let you join it. I'm gonna be in here about 5 more minutes, and then I'm about to get off. So come on, then let me at you. Pull yourself in. I don't see your invite. Okay. Yeah. So create that solid foundation for yourself, lucky lady. Everybody create that solid foundation. That's what I want you to do. I want you to create that solid foundation for you and not nobody else. This is a self journey. And these are the times we need to be selfish for ourselves. Right? We got to be. But I'm just saying. So Stella trying to get in right quick. Yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed this conversation. I really did. I hope it enlightened you on a lot of things. That's what me and Robyn Gold was. Because I think we was on here last night about 2.5 hours. Her stomach was growling and mine was growling. Look, and I ate my tamales last night, Robyn, and I was still hungry. I was still hungry. I had to go
I
back.
understand.
I had to go back downstairs and get me something else to eat because I was still hungry. But I didn't want to eat nothing too heavy, so I put me 2 pieces of raisin, maybe 2 pieces of raisin toast, and ate that, and went on about my business.
That bring your childhood memories with that
Baby,
butter.
baby, I buttered that bread. I was like, bless this bread, Lord, as I chew and I swallow it on down and drink this good old tea. Now I'm finna drink and push it down. And I surely did. and it soothed my appetite.
Yes, stuck to you to the next morning.
It stuck to the next morning. And I got up, I was like, Lord Jesus, thank you for the bread. Thank you for the bread, honey. Thank you for the bread. I was grateful for that bread, honey. I was
It's a
grateful.
little tiger in my tank right now, but I think I might need to go on the bed after this one.
Baby, I'm going downstairs.
You got a lonely sandwich ready.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I think working on them laptops really took energy out of me. And then I got my work clothes in the dryer. I need to go fold and put my other clothes in the dryer because I'm tired. I'm tired. Then I got to take off this beautiful beat and let it rest. But I ain't mad because I got 1,001 bottles of foundation, so I had used picked and choose the foundation I want to use. I'm like, I ain't use it. Let me use this. I ain't use this eyeshadow. Let me use that eyeshadow. I ain't use this primer. Let me use this primer. I was like, okay, you got rid of this stuff, child. You got too much. You got too much. All right, Stella. I don't think you be able to get in. So I'm about to hop off, y'all. I'm gonna say I thank y'all. I thank y'all for the shares. I thank y'all for the follows. I thank you for the like. Again, make sure you follow Robyn on TikTok and Instagram. Her handle is Pineapple Grenade by Robyn. And y'all know To a Woman's Heart is toawomensheart.com, toawomensheart.store, toawomensheart.org. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Tumblr, Pinterest, Threads, Lemonade, YouTube, you name it, I'm there. So just follow me. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging in for the time frame y'all did. And for those who on stream, y'all, we got 2 on here. Y'all stuck it out. Y'all the best. And for those who will watch on replay, again, we're not here to bang or ding Reesa Teesa. We was just here to have adult conversation about the situation and create some awareness and open our eyes to some things, and just want us not to ignore the warning signs. Okay, don't give permission to people to your life that don't need it. All right, Robyn, you got something to say before we get out of here?
No, you said it all. We just here for a preventative measure and open dialogue, and I really hope that we can do it again soon. Thank you, Auntie.
We're gonna do it again soon, but first of all, I gotta get a laptop. Somebody want to donate to me a laptop because I need a laptop. But anyway, I don't have no laptop for real. It died. It's a blue screen. But anyway, I appreciate you all. I appreciate you tuning in. Me and Robyn is going to be coming in with some other conversation. Oh, For those women who have a business, I put the flyer out there. I'll send it to you, Robyn. We're going to start highlighting women in business, doing live stream so you can show your merchandise and people can know where you at, because they need to put a face to a name, and that may help get your business where you need it to be. And that's the purpose that I'm here for. I'm not asking for any money from nobody. That's your business, not mine. But I am providing a platform for you to show what you do. Now, if you want to donate something to Toolroom, I would very much so appreciate it. I would love it, because I have some things I want to do. All right. But if you want to do that, the flyers are out. Send me an email, and then we can go from there. All right. I know tomorrow is Wednesday. I pray that you have an awesome day. I pray that you don't allow anybody to make you mad. I pray that whatever you got on your mind to do, that God will bless it abundantly. I pray that your children are covered. I pray that your family are covered. I pray that everybody's in good health. I pray that, everything goes well on tomorrow and every day after that too, until we meet again. All right. I probably will post some videos on TikTok. I'm not posting none tonight because I'm tired. But I'm tired. I promise. My brain is fried tonight. But yeah, I appreciate you all. The live will be on other platforms. It will stay up there if you want to see it. And you can go to YouTube. Robyn has her YouTube up and running. I have mine up and running. She has her Instagram up and running. So when the live completes, you can go back and watch it for whatever you miss. And I appreciate you all for chiming in. All
And
right.
I'll also make some clips for you too, Auntie. If
Okay.
you want to do some shorts on your TikTok.
Okay, that'll be good, because I and that ain't my skill. So I'm gonna leave that in your department. That's what I'm saying.
I'll go ahead and pull it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. Yeah, you can pull it off of here. So yeah. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all too over here on StreamYard, Facebook, Twitter,
Yes.
and YouTube and Instagram. Love y'all too. And y'all the
We do
best.
love y'all.
Y'all the best. Nobody like you. Let's be supportive one to another. Let's pray for everybody. You got to know what the problem is. Just pray for people. Everybody needs prayer. It's a sin sick word. There's a lot of stuff going on. Period. And Robyn was just telling me, then we're gonna go for real, about the young lady um whose best friend lured her in Memphis, Alabama.
It's in Alabama. Yeah.
Alabama. And they did all kinds of things to this young lady, and they killed her. Parents, if you have children, whether they're young or old, please, 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 please do a PSA with them. Everybody is not their friend. I promise you. It's too much. It took me back to Shaquilla Robinson's situation.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's not everybody's friend. You can't go everywhere with everybody. That's all I'm saying. Let's be conscious. Let's be alert of our surroundings.
And too many of these cases are happening across the board, regardless of what the nature is. Like 10
Right,
to 15 things a week.
right.
It's crazy.
It is. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And it's also rough on a mother. You know what I'm saying? The mother
Mm-hmm.
who has to deal with the pain of not seeing their child again. So let's be cautious. Let's be aware. Let's be alert. Let's not take anything. You got to do your part to keep yourself protected. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. And take this good light down so I can hit the off button over here. And I'll see y'all later. All
Good
right.
night.
All right. All right. So, all right. I'm going to end this stream. See y'all